Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Immortal Naruto in modern world. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Ak103 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. Meeting the Ice Queen. Don't ask me how I end up in modern day Japan, because the last time I tell someone that I'm a ninja capable creating orbs of destruction the size of planets, they threaten to send me off to the nearest mental ward in Shiba. Yes, before any of you ask, I am indeed a ninja capable of creating orbs of destruction in the size of planets, but I don't that anymore because there's really no point in doing so. My time, the time of the ninjas, has long lost its name. There's not even a single hint of it anywhere in the history books. Time has changed a lot of things, including me too. But I can assure you that deep inside, I am still Uzumaki Naruto, the orange-wearing dude that has this definitely healthy ramen addiction. So what changed? Well, aside from the fact that I can't die, there's really nothing else. What, surprised? Yes, I can't die and it's not my decision to make when this curse was laid on me. When my people defeated Kaguya and every single one of her peons, we weren't expecting the final attack that the rabbit goddess had in store for us. She used it as a last resort of some kind, something that will activate when she's defeated. Now I can't exactly remember what happened because I prefer not to remember the extinction of my kind, but everything was just gone. They ceased to exist. However, I was the only one that remained. I found myself to be the last living shinobi on the nation and there was no one else that could use chakra. All of my friends, comrades, allies, they were all gone because of some freaky elimination technique that Kaguya did. She must have been desperate to use something like that. She did just end the lives of the people that bore her gift, the gift of chakra. Then, how are you still alive, you might ask? Well, that's exactly it, I don't fucking know. I don't know if it's Kaguya's way of saying haha fuck you, you're alone in the whole world now, or maybe the woman was really desperate and trying to kill everyone, or was it by pure accident that she missed me? I will never know. Then how does the whole immortality thing fits in all of this? Well, to put it simply, I tried to commit suicide the moment I realized that there's nothing I could do to return my friends back, but of course, it failed because I did not die. Oh, I forgot to mention, it seems the Kaguya erased everything that was chakra because Kurama was also gone, as well as the rest of his siblings. So, yeah, one hell of a way to end the world. It's safe to say that I'm very old. I watched as people rebuild their society over time, building new nations and countries. I have a hand in making the world into what it is today. An example would be the fact that there are more than just one continent in this world. Yes, I caused the breaking off of continents. Now don't blame me, it was accident. I was trying to see how much control I have over earth elements and I didn't know that it would result in the breaking off continents. I may have been guilty of that, but I am not responsible for the idiots that the world produce. While it's true that I slept with many women and they may or may not have had my children, I can assure you that Hitler is not my son. I would never want to have a son with a weird mustache like that. Anyway, that's my prehistoric experience, or is it prehistoric experience because dinosaurs existed because I tried to do summoning without any contracts. Oh yeah, speaking of dinosaurs, I didn't know that being huge kills you. Maybe that's the reason why gravity is not so strong in Mount Mayaboku, because otherwise, the toads over there would have died already. When Kaguya took away everything that has chakra, I really mean it. Right now, I can't really gather chakra anymore, so I'm on a limited supply. I can still try to gather chakra from whatever's left and still exist in this world, but even so, it'll take me a while to even replenish a quarter of my chakra capacity. Strangely though, when Kaguya took Kurama, a being made out of chakra, she didn't take him at all. She just took the consciousness, but Kurama's chakra remains in me, so basically I'm currently running at 93% of my normal chakra and Kurama's entire consciousness less being inside of me. Yeah, it's safe to say that I'm not a normal human by today's standard. I intend to keep my status as a ninja or even chakra's existence as a secret, which is why I refrain on doing too many things with it. Really, I only use chakra for things like what, Genjutsu, Hengen, making campfire when I'm out camping. That's just about it really, but even so, I still have a lot of chakra to spare. I've been living for God knows how long and I haven't even lose a percent of my own original chakra. And there's also the fact that I'm immortal. Sadly though, I can't age, I'm stuck being in my teen self forever. I can use Henge though, but even so, they're not permanent. I can pull Genjutsu, something I sometimes do every now and then, to manipulate my surroundings as well as people, but I stopped doing it as a form of amusement when I nearly got caught for being a satanic worshipper during the Middle Ages. Yeah, those were the times. Regardless, none of that matters now. Now I'm living a completely different life yet with the same life that I have many years ago. There are no bad guys to kill, goddesses to kill or Madara to train to defeat now, there is just me and my current life as a high school student in a school in Japan's Chiba prefecture. Yeah. That's who I am now. Uzumaki Naruto, a 16-year-old high school student in a school in Chiba and apparently, one of the most unpopular guys ever. Hey Uzumaki, you got anything to do today? Nah, I don't. But I don't feel like doing anything today, so shoo. GC, this is why you don't have friends Uzumaki. Anyway, we'll go to the karaoke place in town, come join us if you're lonely. For the record I am alone, but just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm lonely. Is that an example of oxymoron? I'll never know. But thanks, maybe I'll join. Yeah, see you later. Uzumaki Naruto, former shinobi of the Hidden Leaf Village, child of prophecy, the second Toad Sage of Mount Myaboku, the son of Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, a hero, but none of those matters now, because I am just Uzumaki Naruto. A second-year high school student who writes porn for a living and I apparently make a lot of cash from doing so, props for me. Now that I think about it after all this time I never really have any solid girlfriends. Now don't give me that look, okay, now you're just being mean. But yeah, I never really have any real girlfriends despite the long life I've been living. All of the women that I copulate with are just lonely women who needed the comfort and embrace of a man, and fortunately for them, and me, I was there to provide. You're looking at me like I'm some sort of sexual predator, but really, it's not like I actively indulge myself in that kind of lustful urge. I am not the type of person to sink that low, that's what Iro Senin would do if he was in my case. Even so, I have to admit, I would like to experience having a girlfriend once in a while. Contrary to what you might think about me, I'm actually picky about what type of girl that I like. Yes, now don't look even more surprised, even I have preference. I do not remember why I like Sakura-chan, but it probably has something to do with her hair so yes, I am the type of person who judge a girl based on their hair first and personality third. The second one has to be their looks, come on, I'll admit that I'm guilty of choosing people by their looks. Now I don't want to sound like I'm a narcissistic asshole, but I am pretty good looking. Again, stop giving me that look and don't throw up on the damn keyboard. Aw, look at what you did. You make me break the fourth wall sheesh now we have to wait until it's finished repairing. Hi I guess I'll just sit here while I leave that to the author. A moment later. There we go, now where was I? Oh yeah, based on what I've heard from the gossips that the girls have been circulating around, I'm actually a pretty good looking person. I can't exactly figure out which part of me is good looking, but I guess it has something to do with my eyes and hair. It's obvious that your standard Japanese does not have blonde hair or blue eyes, and I obviously stick out like a sore thumb amongst the crowd. Whether it's the height, complexion, hair or eyes I have always been mistaken as either an American or British person. I can't blame them for that. I remember my classmates' reaction when I first transferred here. They were so hilarious trying to speak English, or English, in their case. And before you ask, yes, I am fluent at English. I did spend most of my time traveling the world. I'm getting sidetracked here anyway, I really think that it'd be great to at least get a girlfriend once, maybe even get into a legitimate relationship. Though I know it's going to be hard the moment she dies, I still think that I at least deserve a real relationship, not those one-night stands that I've been getting for the past centuries. But there's one huge problem here. Even though I'm considered as one of best-looking boy in school, the same does not go for my attitude. Boy, Uzumaki, mind telling me what this piece of crap is? If it weren't for the fact that she's hot, I'd slap her for giving me that angry look. That's a paper, sensei, don't tell me that you don't know what it is. Slam. That's the sound of her fist hitting the desk, I made her mad. Don't joke with me, Uzumaki, I'm referring to the writings on this piece of paper, it's so repulsive it must have been the reason why I wasn't able to tell that this is a paper from a single glance. Ah, touché. She wore heels, thigh highs, a shirt, a black vest over it, a tie and a lab coat. Despite the coat, she's not a professor of some sort. Hell, I'm not even sure why she's a teacher. I asked you to write an essay about your experience in high school, so pray tell why it turned into something like this. She lifted the paper up to my face, as if she's trying to prove her point. On the paper was at least half a chapter worth of content that you'd normally find in my books. I do not know why you didn't write an essay like I told you to do, but I'm more boggled at the fact that you just wrote porn in one of my subject's worksheet. I glared at her, looking insulted. Hey, this is fine literature, you should be praising me for writing this well. I smirked, allowing her to see it. Besides, I know that you're not going to throw it, for all I care, you'd be pocketing that inside your coat and read it tonight while your hand is busy do. I nearly got my head blown off from my neck. A red-faced Hiritsuka sensei just raised her hand at her own student. She should be fired because of this. Hello. Teachers. In any case I find her stuttering somewhat adorable, to a certain degree. I can't tolerate you for writing NSFW material for schoolwork, it's punishable by the school's rule. I highly doubt that because, as far as us students know, there was no specific rule stating that you couldn't write art for your schoolwork. But she's right about that NSFW part though. No, can we get to the fact that you did not deny what I just say about the probability that you'll master? She sent me a glare that could even make Madara gulp. Okay, I got it, I'll rewrite it, Hiritsuka-sensei. I offer her my sincerest form of apology by bowing. Even then I know that she knows that I'm bluffing. She got a particular look in her eyes. Oh no, this is not good for me. I think I just got the right punishment for you. I don't like the way you're smiling, woman. So I have a little something that I need to admit. I may or may not have an attraction towards Hiritsuka-sensei. I mean, can you blame me? The woman is beautiful, she's beautiful to a point where I am confused why she's not dating someone yet. Maybe she dated people before, but I don't know. Despite our unique relationship, I don't really know her that much. I know that she is almost 30 and that she gets irritated easily when we're talking about age or relationship statuses. But can you blame me for not knowing? As much as I want to get to know her better, way more than a student should ever get, I can't bring myself to open that door. Okay, call me a wuss or whatever, but I'm merely being considerate here. Unlike in Konoha, where it's not strange but not really common to date your or get in a relationship with your jonin sensei or mentor, it's a problem in today's society in Japan especially. Japanese people to the rest of world has a reputation of being prudes or at least private when it comes to romantic relationship, not to mention that there is also the stereotypical strict and say no to strangers reputation that Asian people are mostly known for to have. And let me tell you, not all Asians are like that, gosh. I mean, when I think about it, I was raised by a bunch of Asians. My best friend's Asian, hell my teacher, friends and everyone I know back during my younger days were Asians. Maybe not the guys from Kumo though, no racist. Anyway, so, yeah, getting in a relationship with Hiritsuka-sensei is a no-no for now, since I am still a student in a school that she teaches in. Let's say if I can get in a relationship with Hiritsuka-sensei, it'll be something that we both have to keep secret because the last time I checked, fraternizing with your teacher could get the both of you kicked out of school and a bad reputation for the rest of your life. I can easily accept that, but I'm not sure that Hiritsuka-sensei could. She's a normal person, she has family and friends that she still have her attachments with, and I don't think that she's willing to go with me and leave them behind. And I'm not about to take these things from her. And that's one reason why I don't have a girlfriend. So for the entire duration of our walk, I have been only thinking to myself. I also notice that we're taking quite a while to reach wherever it is that Hiritsuka-sensei is bringing me to. I'm not sure if I have ever been to this part of the school, seems like we're in a completely different section where the rooms are used for nothing other than club rooms. Yes, this school is pretty big and they have too much room so they have no other choice but to leave them empty or use them for club rooms, which is pretty rad if I do say so myself. I'm not complaining that she's taking a while leading me though. As far as I'm concerned, there is no male student who's not happy when they're taken away by a beautiful adult teacher and ditching second period at the same time, and as far as my concern goes, most people would like it that way. Every day. But we eventually reach the destination of Hiritsuka-sensei, and it's one of the club rooms. She opens the door and I have to shield my eyes because of the light and the wind that hit me. Inside the room is somebody I never thought I'd meet in such a close proximity. The moment I see her face I instantly know who she is. Her hair, her eyes and even the way she sits. No, I am not her stalker, it's just that she's hard to miss when you see her sometimes in the cafeteria waiting for her food. I know who she is. She's in International Education Class J, famous for being filled with girls that makes up about 90% of the class. The class is known for being filled with brilliant minds and academic achievements above the national average. This girl, she stands out the most out of all of them. Yukinashita Yukino. Did I get correctly? Everyone in this school knows her, but apparently, I may or may not have forgotten her name. I return back to reality and notice the glare she's leveling at me. I give her confused look, but not speaking or anything. Her face is a mix between disgust and suspicion, a face that most girls would make when seeing me for the first time. Yes, I know I'm sad. He's looking to join the club. I hear Hiritsuka-sensei say to Yukinashita. I must have wandered in too deep in my own thoughts to notice that they were talking before. Whatever conversation they have, I miss them out. Seeing as how I have no way out this and she'll pretty much give me things that are way worse if I go against her, I decide to surrender. Class 2F's Uzumaki Naruto, nice to meet ya. I give the book reading girl a playful salute. Her glare becomes worse. Did I do something to offend her? Am I so intimidating that she's giving me that look? Really, the only ones that pull that kind of look on me are the police officers from the station down the street, and that's saying a lot about paranoia. Do I really look like an apex sexual predator in the eyes of women or something? Hey, are you sure that you're not trying to kill me? I'm not, but I won't promise that she wouldn't. Well, I'm screwed. It's because you decided to pull out something as retarded as writing porn for one of my essays. I won't accept anything less than this. I take offense to that. It's fine literature, not porn. For the very first time in my life as a high school student in this school, I make a seriously annoyed face. Don't lump my work with the rest of the crap they're selling in the adult section of bookstores all over Japan. That makes me insulted to a point where I want to go space without any supply of oxygen. Anyway. She ignored me. Oi. As you can see, his looks are just as dangerous as his works and attitude. I can see Yukinishita nodding her head and it's killing me inside. And as a result, he's like this. What do you mean like this, huh? Please try your best to fix his predatory and rotten attitude, since I worry for the well-being of the females in this school, that's my request. Oi. Oi. I humbly refuse. How can you say the word humble while making a disgusted face like that, Yukinishita-san? Now she's hugging herself in a defensive manner. I do not have to see to know the dangerous and unspeakable things he might do to me if we are alone in this room. And what do you mean the well-being of the females in this school? It's hypocritical if you're putting me in the same room with that. Oh, so I'm so repulsive that you resulted in referring to me as that, huh? Well, good to know. And for your information, princess, I am not looking at you and I'm not looking at the Great Wall of Japan, that is your memories either. Wait, did I just do that? Damn, I'm savage. Don't worry, despite his looks and attitude, he won't do anything to you. Hiritsuka-sensei said to her. He'll probably leer at you every now and then, but that's all he'll do. If he does try anything, you have my permission to mace him. And who are you to me to allow her to do that to me? No, can we please stop talking as if I am some sort of molester who does his deed in the middle of broad daylight? Unfortunately, I am ignored. Yukinishita looks like she's considering Hiritsuka-sensei's suggestion of making me. Mace I only have a tozer at home. That is also scary in a way. Seriously, does this girl seriously carry around a tozer whenever she leaves home? Is her common everyday occurrence involves unfortunate meetings with perverts and exhibitionists? If so, then I feel both sorry and the people she encounters, mostly for the people. With her ice queen-like persona and air she's pulling off, I know that Yukinishita is not the most sociable of persons. I at least talk to people from time to time, they just don't approach me as often as the police do. Anyway, please do try your best to fix this person's attitude. You have my permission to hit him from time to time. Again, who exactly are you to decide that for her? Hiritsuka-sensei leaves the room, leaving the both of us here alone. I'm not dumb and I'm a ninja, I know that she's just standing behind the door to listen in to us. I can do two things here and I'm sure that neither will make me look better in Yukinishita's eyes. 1. I can approach her friendlily and get to know her like any normal person would do, but that'll probably end up with me at the receiving end of 50,000 volts of electricity that may not be able to knock me down, but is still annoying because of the sensation of being electrocuted. Or I can just grab a seat and not to talk and see where there goes. Or I can just use Genjutsu and make her like me in an instant. What are you doing standing over there like an idiot? Grab a seat and sit down, you're ruining my atmosphere by the amount of space you're taking up by standing. Yeah, I'll do the second one. So I take a seat from one of the many stacked chairs arranged at the back of the class. I place my seat far away from hers because I do not want to offend her by merely being close to her. I feel she's already offended by the fact that I'm breathing the same air as her, but who knows. So with nothing to do or talk about, I naturally look around the empty classroom, casting my attention over things like the ceiling, windows, floors and the door. This action has somehow annoyed Yukinishita. Got something to say to me? I can taste the masked irritation in her voice. And I find it delicious yet annoying at the same time. Oh, no. I say with an air of my own. Aside from the fact that I'm bored, I got nothing to say at all. That triggered something in her, and I know what it is, more annoyance. Anyway, that aside, just what is this club? Why don't we play a game of guess what club this is then? You guess what this club is and if you guessed it correctly, you get nothing. It's amazing how she's able to say all of this without breaking that stone-cold expression she has, it triggers my own instinct of wanting to break it down even more. Alright, I'll play. I'll humor her and I'm also curious about it anyway. Is this the literature club? She raised an eyebrow. Oh, what makes you say that? There's nothing but chairs and tables, they're all placed aside too to allow space in the middle. And you've been reading that book as we're speaking right now, something that's considered to be rude by most people. I see the blank look in her eyes. Yes, even me. Oh, I wasn't aware that you consider yourself to be most people, and you're wrong, this is not the literature club. She says, playing with the tone a little. I've seen that look before and I've seen it on the mirror every time. Then what is this club? I give up. I can't handle her sassiness and sarcasm, it's like fighting with a colder and even more cynical version of myself. I'll give you a clue then. She says, as an attempt to lift up my spirits. What I'm doing now is considered as this club's activity. Wow, such clue, much help. I sigh. Apparently, no matter how many years have passed, I still don't have the patience for certain things. I give up, I got no clue. Before I do tell you, let me ask you a question, Uzumaki-kun. Kun. She's calling me kun. Well, ain't that nice and sweet of her? I swear at least show a little bit more emotion when saying that. When was the last time you talked to a girl? What does she mean by that? Obviously I just talked to her a few seconds ago, is she so smart that she's dumb or something? But I get her meaning, she obviously means talking to a girl who's a schoolmate. Well. Naruto 3 years ago in second year of middle school. It was in my classroom during lunch. Being the loner I was and still am, I sit by myself with no friends nearby. Then, I heard a girl's voice talking. "Oh, it's so hot today, don't you think so too?" I heard her speak in the friendliest way that a girl my age had ever talked to me in. I remembered being sleepy that time, so I must have answered in a blunder. Yeah, I guess I remember yawning, whipping my hair to get some of it off my eyes. The girl shied away from her seat, almost shrinking down while lowering her head in what I can only assume to be embarrassment. I swear I saw her face going red, but that's probably the heat. Then I realized that there was also a girl on my back. So she was talking to her one. Until this day that is still one of the most embarrassing moments of my long life. The first one is that accidental kiss with Sasuke, yuck. I can't say I remember, but anyway, what does that have to do with the identity of this club? Why are you sighing as if you've heard the world's dumbest question ever, Yukinishita-san? This world consists of people who help and those who don't. We, as a member of this club, are one of those who help. Be it for rewards or none, it's our job as a volunteer to help other people who need us, regardless of how small or tedious the problem is. She levels a deep stare at me. Welcome to the service club, Uzumaki-kun, I thank you for joining. I've been asked to help you, and help you I shall. I just stared at her throughout the duration of her speech and borderline ranting. Yeah. I nod slowly. You're welcome. At least you're educated enough to know some manners. Bitch. You know what grinds my gears? People like Sasuke. And Yukinishita over here is taking over his spot pretty well. I've been roaming the world for the past few I don't know, millennia or something, and I've met people who have done enough things for me to label them an asshole. Today, Yukinishita is on that list. I'm more than capable of taking care of myself. I made my tone slightly louder than what it normally is. She really needs to hear it. I appreciate Hiritsuki-sensei's effort of bringing me here so that she could make you fix up my quote-unquote rotten attitude. But I don't need help from a hypocrite who couldn't do the same thing. I don't need another person who's stuck up with a foot-long pole up her ass to help me. It doesn't stop there. And for your information, I am not helpless. I just chose not to help myself. I rank second in English and first in modern literature. Hell, I scored the nationals in that second one. I am obviously not pouting, I just refuse to see Yukinishita in the eyes. Even if my relationship status contradicts my looks, it just means that I have more important stuff to do rather than dating. For the record, I am only kidding about that last part, please individual friend. How you say that with such confidence is a merit in its own rights. You're a terrible person, aren't you, Uzumaki-kun? This girl. I don't want to hear it from someone like you. I mutter with a little amount of hate. Why am I here? Why can't Hiritsuka-sensei just give me another essay to write? At least that way I can spend my whole day writing down erotica for her to use tonight as a side dish. Based on your words and action, I can say that the reason why you are a loner is due to your personality and attitude. I'd do anything to wipe that smirk off your face. Secondly, though appearance is highly subjective, the fact that you dyed your hair. Boy. I'm a natural blonde. Oh. Why does she look so surprised? This is not my first time being mistaken as someone who has dyed his hair either. Ahem. She coughs as an attempt to correct herself. In any case, I can say that your appearance also plays a part in your current loner status. Though it is better than that of a small imp-like being who thinks that everything is precious to him. I'm not Motherfucking Gollum. Again, she looks surprised. Oh, I wasn't aware that you're into movies. No, I'm the one who should be making that statement. Yukinishita looks like a person who prefers book rather than movies after all. I can't believe she watched The Lord of the Rings. Well, at least your hide and face isn't that of Gollum's or a hobbit. Boy. She makes this smug expression while she flips her hair back. In any case, there goes our practice conversation. I was trying to see if you're capable of making conversations with people. You did good, even if it's probably your first serious conversation. The things we talked about are barely serious. And like hell it is. After all, if you can talk to me, you can surely talk to other people as well. Do you feel better? Like hell I do. Just so you know, I can hold conversations with other people perfectly. I just don't talk to people who ask stupid questions or people who want something done just because they knew me. I think I need a good drink after this. Good thing I stocked some booze in my apartment. And stop sighing already. What are you, 40? Looks like you're in need of a change. Otherwise it may be a danger to society. Suddenly, we are interrupted by someone who totally hasn't been eavesdropping on our entire conversation from start to finish. Yukinishida, I'm coming in. Please knock every time you enter sensei, at least I can agree about that. Sorry. Force of habit. She looks at me. Looks like you're having trouble with Uzumaki. How can I not when he himself does not know that he has troubles? I don't like the way she's looking at me. And I'm serious about it. Don't you dare preach like that. I'm annoyed and mad. I admit that I may have problems, but what that problem is entirely up to me to reveal or not. I don't need someone to talk to because I believe that my problem does not concern them. I don't need someone trying to fix my problems because I know that they can't. I don't need someone telling me that I should change because I've been through it. I'm ranting at this point. And the result of that change, well, you can clearly see him right before your very eyes. I don't need someone to tell me what to do either. Who are they? My mom. Besides, it will feel even better if you can solve all of your problems yourself. Sure, it's hard, sure it's fucking painful to do so. But the fact that you don't have to get people involved with the shit that you have clean is better than letting them sink their hands into that pile of shit and have them live the rest of their lives covered in your shit. I make both Yukinishida and Hiritsuka sensei flinch from the sheer tone of my voice. I must have lost myself there, I don't realize that my tone holds that much venom. I can only let it off with a cough. Anyway, Hiritsuka sensei starts in a placating manner, drawing distance between me and Yukinishida. There is a reason why I put people in this club. I guess that she's referring to me here. If I see people who seem troubled, I'll bring them here. Again with this troubled bullshit. However, this is also a good chance to see who'll be able to solve troubles better. She declares her true intentions all along. Of course Hiritsuka sensei, of course. By then, she must have already notices the look I'm making. Don't give me that face, Uzumaki, think of this as solution for you, regardless of the effects. Trust me, you'll gain something from this. Something bad. What was that? Nothing. Damn women and their sharp hearing. Anyway, in this club, you'll have to compete in a contest to see who can serve better than the other. Hiritsuka does the "my drill will pierce the heavens" pose as she declares the next line, the winner can order the loser to do anything they want. How's that? Yukinishida's lucky that I prefer my girls older, otherwise I might have just fallen for that one-win condition. Then again, Yukinishida is pretty and I'd be an idiot if I think otherwise. Regardless, though, I still like mature women, maybe I'll give Yukinishida several years and see how that turns up. No thank you, very much. She shields her body away again, looking at me with disgust and fear in her eyes. I will only meet danger if I participate with that kind of win condition. Heh. For once in my long life, I scoffed in a way that Madara would. For your information, I have nothing to do with the part of your body that you're currently covering, simply because there isn't any to begin with. From the distance, I can hear several guys cheering and air horns going off. Damn. Wah. Oh. I got a reaction that I've never seen her make before. She blushes, looking mighty insulted with the truth I just preached upon her. I need to call myself the truth because bitches can't handle it. Okay, enough with the jokes. And besides, if you think that all we high school boys do is think about girls and a way to get under their skirts all day long, then you're completely wrong. I crossed my arms, emphasizing my seriousness. There are also other things that go through our mind. Like, I don't know, video games. I don't have any other clue since it would be unwise to compare your normal human to me in the first place. Looks like the great Yukinishida Yukino also has things she fears. Sensei makes this contemplating gesture. So you're admitting loss just like that? If I was Hiritsuka sensei, I would have thought hook, line and sinker because that's what Yukinishida did. She not only eats the hook but also the line and sinker. She gives me this nasty glare that I just know she's capable of doing. Fine. She sighs out. Though I hate that you've baited me with such cheap provocation, I accept. She raises her head in confidence, her eyes shining with determination. Well, I'll give her that. She doesn't give up easy. Hiritsuka sensei smiles. It's settled then. After the past few years I've lived in Japan. I've lived in Japan for more than 20 years now and I've made fake identities for myself. I can say that my life has been colorful. I meet new people, befriend them and even get to know them more than they know themselves. But for some reason, I feel no attachment for them. I've realized a long time ago that I've grown desensitized by how the world works. War happens, conflicts pretty much there and people die if they are killed. The everyday pattern of live, love and move on has made me bored. But something tells me that starting from today, here in this classroom my long life won't be so dull after all. Ah, I totally forgot to have my say against this. I don't really like reading when I was young, I find it boring and useless. Then again, this comes from the boy who couldn't sit still while he's in class, so that's not very surprising. The reason why I don't like books is because, despite what my teachers have told me about how useful they aren't of any help to me. I'm a learner, not a reader. Show me, not make me read my ass off until my brain's vegetable. I don't need to read how to do things, I need to see how I do it. Thankfully, as lazy and unmotivated Kakashi-sensei was during my younger years, he's done a great job of training me. He figured out that giving me scrolls to read isn't really going to help me, so he made me do menial stuffs that I thought was useless and boring, but helped me in the end. Ever since that day, I learned to respect perverts. Well, not so much. As I entered the room, I didn't bother looking around. I just grabbed an empty chair, sat down and plugged in my earphones. I leaned back on the backrest, letting JS box air on the G-string fill my ears. I set the volume on medium and it's a good thing I did. Hello. Without even looking, I know that she still has her eyes glued to her book. So I returned the gesture. What? I thought that you might not come again. I heard her flipping through pages from her book. Are you a masochist? No, I'm not. I replied smoothly, just like the part of the music I'm currently listening to. Then are you a stalker? Nope. Why are you assuming that I even have feelings for you in the first place? I didn't give her time to respond. Didn't I tell you? I like mature girls, both in mind and body. And it appears that both are lacking in you. Out of the corner of my eyes, I can see her face turning red. And I love every second of it. Oh. Yukinoshita regained her composure. And seriously, do you even have friends? I'm really curious about this. She got the looks and style, but I rarely see her outside during recess. I can't sense anything other than her calm composure, it seems that she receives this question a lot. Well, let's see. First, define how close and distant someone has to be in order to be called a. I raised my hands. I just had to stop her. It's sad. Okay, stop right there. If I wasn't hearing my music, I would have turned my head towards her. That's something that only a person with no friends would say, and you can quote me on that. Maybe I'm sadder than her. You look like the type that'll have people flocking around and fawning over you. Before I continue, I really need to stop feeding that damned ego of hers. So pray tell, why aren't you blessed in that particular part? I had to make sure. I'm not talking about your chest. If glares could kill, then I would have died. Thankfully, they don't. And thankfully, I'm immortal. She looks away from me. Whether it's from the topic I've brought up or the chest comment, I can't say. You'd never be able to understand it. She suddenly stands, holding her book with her hand. I have always been cute. Iwa, this girl's up there with Madara in terms of ego. And most boys who came near me came to like me. She walks over to a table where her bags and other books are at, reaching to replace the one she's holding for another one. So you're well liked yet you have no friends? I asked. Make up your goddamn mind, girl. Do you want to be popular or a loner? Maybe it would have been nice if people actually genuinely liked me. She says. What you mean? When I was in elementary school, my indoor shoes were hidden 60 times. 50 of those times were done by girls of the same age as me. She walks back to her chair, taking a seat. As a result, I have to bring home my indoor shoes and recorder with me every time I go home. I saw her sigh. That's pretty tough for a kid. Nothing to what every one of us in the elemental nation had been through, though. Yeah, it was tough. It was also horrible. She admits openly, as if she has nothing to hide. Then, there it is, that smug smile. All because I am cute. Give me back the small amount of sympathy I just give. She's not listening to me, more like, she's ignoring me. But there's nothing I can do against that. No one's perfect. Everyone's weak and unsightly in their own ways. Jealousy easily influences them, and others have to suffer as an outlet for their inability to keep their emotions at bay. Strangely though, the greater the person, the more they suffer in life. Okay, I just have to write that down, that line's way too cool to be left alone. Isn't that just wrong? Yukinoshita looks outside the window, finding herself lost in the clouds. That's why I'm going to change it all. The people and the world they live in. Looks like she's way more interesting than I thought. Ha. Yukinoshita turns to me. What's with that sigh? Oh, it's nothing. It's just I hesitated. I've heard that last phrase far too often. From myself. She raises an eyebrow but seems smart enough to not question me about it. It's a better goal than sitting down and sulking as if the world's ending at any moment. Was that an attempt for a bite at me or what? I hate how you accept weakness and affirm it. Peacocks have to suffer from getting their feathers dirty because of how beautiful it is. Yukinishita suffers because she's blessed with the same beauty. It should be easy for her to pretend as if nothing happened and live a normal life. But she's too prideful for that. I know, after all, some of my friends were like her. Sasuke, especially. In a way, one could say that she refuses to lie to herself by ignoring all the problems that appear in her life. I cannot say that she and I are truly similar, but there are some similarities. I once tried to change the world and the people within it, but my attempts left me with nothing but crushed and scattered dreams. The differences between us, one of them is that I've failed and she hasn't even begun yet. She has a lot of problems that will wait for her in the future ahead if she's planning to change this world and the people in it. This dream of hers is beautiful, reminds me of Jiraiya's dream, Nagato's dreams, Dad's dreams and even mine. Maybe she could do it. Hey Yukinishita. Do you know if you want to be fry? No thank you. Rejected. Before I even finished. As if to mock my previous attempt, 3 consecutive knocks are heard coming through the door. We both see a female student, I say female because damn look at those melons of her, coming into the classroom that we are using as our club room. She closes the door behind her, and the first thing I noticed about her aside from her assets is her hair. They're pink. Of course, it's dyed, but the school's rule isn't very strict when it comes to that. It's tied to this single bun on the right part of her head. Anything else is kept short, nothing going down below her neck. I find myself staring at her. At her eyes, mind you, sheesh. Excuse me, Hiritsuka-sensei told me to come here. Her voice is cute too, as if she's a voice actress or something. 2. She leans back in repulse, and the cause of her sudden action is none other than me. I'm hurt and I'm not even kidding. What is Maki doing here? Why are you shouting as if I'm some sort of alien? And Maki is supposed to be me, right? This girl is still looking at me as if I'm a creature from Mars. I'm kind of a club member here, I tried to say. At this point, I've plugged off and shut down my phone. Who the hell is this girl anyway? Unsurprisingly, Yukinishita has the answer to my question. You're Yugahama Yui-san from class 2F, aren't you? Yukinishita has a chair prepared for the now known as Yui. Please, have a seat. I saw Yugahama sit down happily on the chair Yukinishita has provided for her. You know who I am? I heard Yugahama ask Yukinishita. I chose this moment to pipe into their conversation. I bet she knows everyone in this whole school. No, I didn't know who you are. Something tells me you're lying. Oh, why would I? Did you not remember how surprised I was when I first saw you enter the classroom? That was surprised. More like you're disgusted of seeing me. You said that, not me. You win this round. It's like this club looks like a lot of fun. For some reason or another, Yugahama is happy. She even has stars sparkling around her and everything. Yugahama turns her attention to me. And Maki, you're talking like crazy here. I narrowed my eyes. What do you mean? Don't get it the wrong way. It's just that you're completely different here than you're in class, and like the way you act in class is totally gross. I can't believe this girl can say that with a smile on her face. Fucking bitch. That is not on impulse, I intended to do that. Hey. I'm not a bitch. I'm still a ver. She has this regretful expression on her face. Wah, forget about that. What's wrong with that? Ver. Wah. But isn't it embarrassing to still be one even in high school? What about your girl power, Yukinishita-san? Excuse me, what? Did I just hear her correctly? It's embarrassing to be a virgin in high school. What a worthless sense of value. It seems that Yukinishita shares my view of this. And this talk about girl power makes you sound more like a total bitch. There you go again with the bitch thing. Calling girls bitches is just wrong. Maki, you're mean and gross. And calling me mean and gross isn't. I snapped. And stop calling me Maki, bitch. You. What? You triggered because I called you bitch. You. Bitch, bitch, bitch. It's not like I'm hurting anyone. You're hurting my feelings. I said anyone and your feelings isn't one of them, bitch. You're mean and gross, Maki. After a while, we're now in the home economic room. It's where we practice cooking and make food to eat during class. Everyone's wearing an apron, including me. So how and why are we here again? Before me is a counter with cooking ingredients like flour, eggs and milk. There are also cooking utensils like mixing bowls and spatulas. It's obvious what we're going to do here. We're obviously making baked ramen. Apparently, Yugahama-san wants someone to help her make homemade cookies for her to give to someone. Yukinishita dons an apron, and I never thought that I would see her wear one. Cookies, really? Cookies, eh? So it's not baked ramen. Well, in that case, you're in luck, Yugahama. I rolled up my sleeves. Because I'm this town's cookie master. I'm pretty sure I have a rather cocky smirk on my face. Hey. Did you win a baking award or something? No, I just thought that it sounds cool. I grabbed bag of all-purpose flour. Then you're no master. I wagged my finger in front of her. TSK, TSK, TSK. One does not have to win competitions in order to be a master, you have to be chosen by the Grail. I'm pulling out all sorts of references, aren't I? What? Yugahama, apparently, does not watch anime. HMPH. Let me simplify it for you. We'll have a showdown, me versus you in making cookies. That'll beat the entire point of me being here. She snaps at me, clutching a whisk tightly. She grabs Yukinishita to her side, surprising the quiet girl a little bit. But I won't lose. Yukinishita-san and I will definitely win against you. I squinted harder than Clint Eastwood. We shall see now, let the shakigeki begin. I declare, pointing my own whisk into the ceiling. This fanfiction is a cooking fanfiction. I don't usually bake, but when I do it's either cake or pizza. My skill in culinary is next to none because I'm probably not that good when compared people like Yukihira Soma and the old man from the ramen bar in town. But I do know a little thing or two about a little bit of kitchen magic. I've traveled through places where the food are delicious, stomach rumbling and pure heaven when tasted. I have learned a thing or two from those times of traveling. Though I don't carry around a skillet or end up eating everything I kill, I've eaten some of the world's best dishes that people has ever made. There was this one time when I considered opening a restaurant, but I'm too lazy for that, so I'll stick to the eating part only. I never get people to taste my cooking though, so I may just be subjective when it comes to the quality of my food. However, that does not mean that I can't cook. This is the 21st century. Even men can cook in this day and age. After several minutes of mixing and baking, we're finally done. First, let us start with Yukinishita and Yugahama's charcoal. You know, since Yukinishita is there, I expect the results to be good. But I was wrong. Yukinishita is voicing her displeasure. Shaking her head side to side and sighing as if she's witnessed one of the most disappointing events on earth. It takes a special kind of person to make so many mistakes at once. She's sighing like a mother who's disappointed of her daughter's kitchen Chernobyl tendencies. I brought one of the cookies to my eye level, inspecting it. This looks like charcoal that you could buy from a home department store in town. Is this even safe to eat? I think it's poisonous. Yugahama pouts with her arms crossed, puffing her cheeks as if she's a 10-year-old girl. I'll show you. Cooking's all about the taste after all. She picks up one of the burnt cookies with her hand, but she stops halfway through. Hey, I think you're right. I find confidence in her defeat. Then, let me show you mine. I unveiled the cookies that I have baked to the two girls. Ooh-oh. Well, at least Yugahama's impressed. They grab each for themselves, looking at us nervously. When they take the first bite, I knew that it's a success judging from their expression. Wow, Maki, this is really good. Yugahama is the first to voice her opinion about my cookies. She downed several more pieces of cookies, making me wonder about her eating habits. These are not bad. When you see someone like Yukinishita smiling after eating your dish, you know that it's good. I must commend your ability to cook, Uzumaki-kun. I never knew that someone as terrible as you would be able to cook, bake even. Ha ha. Sarcasm's dripping from my voice. I get the feeling that you girls will like it. Believe it or not, this is the first time I ever have people to try out my cooking. Yugahama looks at me, confused with her mouth still stuffed with cookies. But Dishar Shogwood. She swallows. But these are so good, don't your parents ever try them? Oh boy. I feel a little bit uneasy. Not because I took offense from Yugahama's statement, I just don't know how I should explain things without making her feel guilty. I don't have parents. I said lamely. I'm an orphan, I was raised in an orphanage. Not sure if I should say that last part. It seems that my status as an orphan is news to them, judging by the looks they're making. Yugahama looks worried and sorry, I can see the guilt in her eyes. Oh my god, I'm so sore. Nah, it's fine. I said. It's okay, you didn't know. I've been living by myself for a long time so I'm pretty much used to it. It's not like she knows. I noticed how Yukinishita is looking at me, but I try not to look back, I didn't want to make things any more awkward than what it already is now. Clapping my hands, I gathered their attention. Let's continue baking cookies until you can bake them, Yugahama. But if it's shit, the trash can's over there. I pointed to the bin at the corner of the room. Now you're just mean. So we practiced that evening until Yugahama is able to cook a decent batch of cookies. And by decent it limits the destruction to a point where Yukinishita and I only vomited. Yukinishita and I are back at our club room. We are seated at our respective places and off doing our respective things. Was it really wise to help Yugahama-san do the things that she should have done all by herself? She suddenly asks me. What do you mean? In case you've forgotten, we're the service club, we're supposed to help people. This coming from the girl who's been the only member of this club for God knows how long is hilarious. She could not have done it on her own, yes, but I believe that experience is necessary for growth. She's frowning, I could tell. I didn't think that switching her batch of cookies with yours was something smart. So she saw, of course. Well, I do agree with you that experience is necessary for growth. I can't help but want to see her succeed, you know. I've seen people who work their hardest and still couldn't do the things that their friends are capable of doing just because they're less gifted in the head department. So to remedy this, they work hard. Really hard. Broccoli, Saratobi Kanohamaru, Jirayami. I can list out names. I want her to understand that this world's highly competitive and that it's cruel with its competition, but I can't bring myself to let her face that kind of realization when I know that she should. Just think of it as a free pass, she's working hard after all, so she has gotta learn a thing or two already. What a childish way of thinking. You know what, I'm not even offended. Thank you. I smiled genuinely. And something was telling me that Yukinishita knows it. Our tranquil club room is disrupted of its quietness by knockings through the door. Yugahama enters, all smiles and cheers. Well, someone's in a good mood. Yahalo. Yahalo. Is that what kids these days are saying? Anyway, she's waving at us, but she walks up to Yukinishita first. What do you want, Yugahama-san? The pink-haired girl recoiled. Am I not allowed to be here or something? Do you actually hate me, Yukinishita-san? Yukinishita sighs. Well, not exactly hate, but I'm not really familiar with you either. That's the same thing. I saw her pout. So, is there anything you need? As thanks for helping me bake last week, I've gone and baked you some cookies as thanks. She throws the small Tide bag-filled homemade cookies to Yukinishita, who isn't expecting it. Oh, I'm not really hungry. I practiced a lot at home so it won't be bad. There's an eerie pause at the middle of her statement. I hope. She then says, cooking is fun after all, maybe I should start making main dishes next. Yukinishita looks uneasy. Let's eat together from now on, Yukinen. I'm sorry, but I'm trying my hardest to not laugh at the moment, so please enjoy their conversation. I respectfully decline. I enjoy eating alone, so no thanks. And don't call me Yukinen, it's repulsive. I'll even come here every time after school. But Yugahama is not listening. Looks like I have nothing else to add in this conversation, I might as well go back home now. I walked out of the room and to the hallway, but I heard someone call out to me. Maki. Yugahama throws something blue at me. Without flinching, I managed to catch the flying object with ease. There's some for you too. You're welcome and thanks, Yuga no. Yui. I smiled. For some reason, Yui turns red all of a sudden. School is always tiring. I mumbled to no one but myself. I thought that my life would be filled with nothing more than boredom from having to live off the same pattern and continue to do so until eternity. I'm cursed with this gift called immortality and I don't know whether it's a bad thing or a good thing. But this week has been fun for me. Even if I have to cope with Yukinishita's holier-than-thou bullshit, Hiritsuka-sensei's persistence and Yui's clumsiness, it's all fun. I'm feeling alive. Opening the bag that Yui threw at me, my smile dropped. Okay, maybe she still has a couple of things that she needs to know about cooking. I grabbed one and bite. It's like a very sweet charcoal. And I love it. Chapter 2. Of authors and writers. This world is comprised of living beings that are highly dependent on each other. Whether it's humans, animals or plants. We are all dependent no matter how different we are. In biology, we know this as symbiosis and it is the close interaction between two biological species. Humans, just like they depend on other humans, also depend on animals to keep them fed. Animals provide food, materials from their skin and hide, energy and yields in farming. These animals are also dependent on each other. Predators need to hunt prey to keep them fed and prey lives off plants and smaller preys. This example shows that animals are not capable of living alone on their own, just like humans. To remedy this, they create what we know as a society. A group. A herd. A pack. It varies for different animals, but a pack or group provides the same things. One is protection. Together we stand, divided we fall is a saying that can be used to simplify this logic. Much like humans, there are many animals out there that lives in a society that comprises of their own. In that very group they socialize and help each other to ensure safety and well-being. Though not as intelligent as humans, animals like lions and wildebeests know that sticking together in a group prevents danger from happening to them. The second one is to simply cultivate and maintain their species. Animals live together to raise their offspring. For some animals, this is related to the first reason because if all the young are born at once, there are many adults to protect and take care of them. For other animals, it's a way to contribute efforts and divide work divisions. Some adults can take care of the young and the others can find food for the whole pack. This behavior is commonly found in lions. When some members of the pride goes hunting, some are left to protect the young. The third one is too, it can be related to the second one, find food faster and easier. Hyenas are good hunters, but they could not hunt on their own. They hunt in groups, overwhelming their prey in numbers. They lack the strength and bravery of a lion when alone, but when they are together, they are frightening enough. Scavengers they may be, but they won't hesitate to hunt when it's necessary. Whoa. What's this? Dude, that's so cool. May. All of this animal behaviors and interactions show one thing, and that is all living organism needs to be together, competitive, smart and resourceful to ensure the survival of their species. Hey dude, check it out. What? Hey man, mind if I borrow this a little bit? They must hunt, kill and devour the weak in order to survive. The same thing applies to humans in a way. But we are given a functioning brain capable of telling which one is right and which is wrong. Then again, don't quote me on that. I've seen and talked to my fair share of people who still has no clue about that. Which is why, if I somehow died, in my next life I want to be a penguin. An ice-cold-assed motherfucking penguin named Gunther who lives in the middle of the fucking North Pole, eating fish and get fat for the rest of my chubby and flightless life. I am done. I have nothing but satisfaction in me after I've finished writing this report. I even drew a picture of an emperor penguin too, just for reference. I sure hope that I pass biology with this. If you're wondering, yes, I often come to the faculty room and most of those times I was here, it is because of myself. Or my behavior, to be more specific. You sure do love penguins. Hiritsuka sensei said, lifting the report that I wrote for biology during recess. It showed the 539 words long essay and the drawing of the emperor penguin that I'm actually quite proud of. Well, they are pretty cute. Her glare made me shut up. Ahem, I thought that you're a modern literature teacher. What are you doing with my biology report? I'm also a guidance counselor. Ooh, smooth. I can give her props for that. I saw her place my paper down on her desk. That's why your biology teacher asked me to deal with this. That's a very long sigh you're releasing, sensei. Am I really that bad? So she began tapping her pointer on the paper, drawing my focus. Which part of this shows how animals live in the wild? What do you mean? What do you mean? I wrote a legit report. I expressed with my hand pointing at the first two long paragraphs. It clearly tells you how animals live in the wild. They form groups and work together to keep on living. Hiritsuka sensei did not look amused. I saw her puckering her lips out a little, probably as a way to show her disapproval of my answer. But on another note, I found that really hot. Yes, it's true, but this last part killed the whole point of this report. She marked the part she was referring to. It was the part where I wrote that I want to be a penguin in my next life. And the drawing, it's horrible. Okay, I couldn't take that. I just can't. You can insult me, you can insult the plot holes I have in my books, but there are two things that you can't quite insult. One of them is Raymond, and the second one is my drawing. I get where you're going with this report, Uzumaki, but I just can't help but think that you're trying to single-handedly prove that living together is a bad thing or something. She's rubbing her forehead whilst sighing. I don't know what you're talking about. If this is about you hunting alone, or rather, the fact that you're still single. Wham. She punched me. I didn't dodge, just because I'm lazy to move. It didn't hurt though. Anyway sensei started with her arms crossed, as if she had never punched me in the first place. About that request from the other day, how did it go? She asked. Well, her punch did not hurt, I just couldn't believe that a teacher would punch her student without any restraint. Oh, well, the requester was okay with the results. I shrugged. Ah, that reminds me, what about that contest that you were talking about? In case you've forgotten, I was referring to the contest in which she forced down upon you Kinoshita and myself to see who could handle requests better. I still think that it was stupid for her to do that, but I just can't help it due to my competitive nature. I blame those 16 years rivalry I had with Sasuke. Damn bastard made my life harder even when he's dead. Oh, that. Don't worry, I'll be making decisions based on all of my personal prejudices and issues. No, that's totally worthy of worrying. And don't say that with such a smug look, you're not supposed to be proud of it, damn it. It's all right here. She tapped her palm on her chest as a way to show her confidence. If I wasn't posing as a high school student, I would do unspeakable things to her. I can still do it now, but I won't. I see. There's really nothing else to say there. By the way, what do you think of Kinoshita? She asks me. There's a lot to say there. I ranted. She's horrible, cold, sarcastic and completely unforgiving. She has a 50-meter pole stuck where the sun doesn't shine and a personality that could make water freeze just by talking to it with her relentless verbal assault. I'd rather kill myself by drinking bleach through my mouth, ears and nose rather than having to work with her for the rest of my school year. I paused. But she's cute. Sensei sweat drops. I thought so. Ignoring the outrageous look that Hiritsuka sensei is giving me, I have to say that I did my best in being honest. See, this is why I couldn't agree with people who say honesty is a virtue, it's a fucking dagger that stabs through the heart and burn the wound as it enters and leaves. I see she didn't take my bluntness well. She's unusually a bright student, but even people as blessed as Yukinoshita have their own problems too. I couldn't have agreed any more with what Hiritsuka sensei just said. That girl had problems. But she's a really nice girl at heart. My eyes wandered to the potted flowers placed near the window in the room. She's nice and all too often right. But the world isn't exactly nice or right. Tell me something I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's hard for her as it is for the rest of us. I couldn't say anything about that. You guys' personalities are pretty twisted, they're almost similar. She said with a smile directed at me. I'm worried that the both of you might not be able to fit in with society. That's why I want to keep you two in the same room. So, what, that place a sanatorium now? Isn't it? Hiritsuka sensei laughed what I would call a beautiful laughter. Either way for me, it's fun watching you guys. She giggled. So maybe, I just want to keep you where I can see you. Again and seriously, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm posing as a student in this school, I would have done unspeakable things to Hiritsuka sensei. Like kiss her or hug her or something. For someone who's considered a loner like me, I naturally find comfort in eating alone whenever it's recess. However, today is impossible. There are two reasons why. One is that the cafeteria, the place where I usually eat at, is filled to the very last table today. It must be that new menu they have on sale starting from today, Mapo Tofu. Is that what it's called? I'm not into food if it's not ramen. And the second reason being it's raining outside. Quite a heavy rain, actually. I don't know why God wants it to rain today, but whatever his reason is, I hope that he's happy with making my life even more miserable. Hey, see this? Isn't it cute? Haha. It's really cute, where did you buy it? I don't want to associate myself with a couple of giggling high school girls because of 3 reasons. 1, I'm into mature women, so forget about these kids. 2, they're noisy. Don't they ever, not laugh at every single thing they considered cute? Hell, is there anything they don't consider as cute? And 3, I can't really approach them in the first place either, due to my status as being a loner. It's a good thing that they don't know what I write for a living. Otherwise I can only imagine what they'll do to me. So here I am, forced to eat yakisoba bread and milk. It's my second bread and my third milk, I'm eating a lot today. Then again, my metabolism has always been weird. The reason why I picked yakisoba bread is because they're the only thing closer to ramen next to udon, and I hate udon. Udon is like the fatter and least popular cousin of ramen. Not that I have anything against fat people or something, some of my previous friends were fat. Come on Hayato, just today. I can't do it today. I have a club meeting. Oh come on, it's just one day. They got this deal on double scooped ice cream. I want one with chocolate and chocolate. That's like 2 scoops of chocolate. You're right. Hahaha. That conversation was so cringy I'm pretty sure my ears are bleeding. And besides, I'm so hungry right now. You need to hold back a little, Yumiko. You'll just regret it if you eat too much. I don't gain anything no matter how much I eat anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, totally, Yumiko. You're totally beautiful. Wait, did I just hear Yui speaking? Holy shit, so she's there this whole time. I'm becoming less and less aware every day, not good, looks like I'll need to work out on that. And your legs are so pretty. I can sense the hesitation in her next words. But, anyway, I need to. But the pretentious bitch just won't listen. You think so? I managed to see her holding her nose up high from the corner of my eyes. But don't you think that Yukinoshita or whatever is kinda pretty too? Now she's just spiting someone who's not even here. Even if she's spiting Yukinoshita, insulting someone who's not even here is kinda move. Well, yeah, Yukinen's quite pretty too. Damn it Yui, you really need to stop voicing your thoughts. Yukinen. I stopped halfway through my bread as I can already sense the rising tension. Thankfully, whoever it is that's with them, managed to speak up first. Well, I guess it's fine. I can come after I'm done with my club duties. That serves as an instant mood changed. Okay Hayato, call me when you're done. So his name is Hayato, huh? Nope, doesn't ring a bell, and I'll probably forget him after I'm done eating. I have better things to worry about after all, like my deadline for example. It's still next week, I know, but my editor won't stop pestering me. I swear, she's more into the story rather than me. I can learn a thing or two from the earlier conversation I've heard. If that is the way to make friends in this day and age, I can see why people are so divided. Not to say that the same didn't happen back in my time, it's just that we didn't have time to bitch about who we make friends with back in my day, since we have more important things to think of, like becoming a shinobi. The period I came from is a time where conflict could potentially happen even by the smallest of troubles. It's not as worse as the Warring States period or the Clan Wars period that came before my own, but it's still a time where peace could be disturbed by the slightest bit of noise. I never made Hokage, so I can only imagine what would have happened if my people survived. I accidentally turned my eyes toward Yui and she accidentally does the same. She gives me a desperate look, one that I'm all too familiar with. I sighed. I can only give her a small reassuring smile, but even so, I know that's not enough. You might need to go somewhere else for lunch, so. The girl with the bleached hair seems to have taken this the wrong way. Oh, then I'd like a lemon tea, I forgot to bring my drink today. It'll already be 5th period when I get back so I'll be gone all lunch and I don't know if that's okay with you, you know. I feel like an ass right now. I can only sit here while the girl is in trouble. Huh? I could sense Yumiko narrowing her eyes. What, really? Yui, you've been totally not hanging around with us lately. I can already hear the suspenseful violin music playing in the background. Yui fidgets around and I can't blame her. Her so-called friend has just directed her with an assault after all. Well, you know, it's just that I have something to do. Like, sorry, but I just have to. I don't get it. Spit it out. Yumiko's dribbling her fingers on the desk, showing her impatience. Sorry. DCH, I'm not asking for you to say sorry. You have something to say, don't you? By now, it's not strange that their conversation has gotten the attention of everyone in class. I can't blame them, this is just too cringy even for me. But I can't handle the fact that someone's ridiculing her own friend like that, it's hypocritical. If this is how friends are like amongst each other, then it's a good thing that I'm considered a loner. There's really no reason why I should help Yui in this situation, after all, I've only known her from yesterday. It'll make me look like I'm meddling where I'm not supposed to, and probably a bad person in the eyes of Yumiko's gang. If we're to follow the so-called high school hierarchy system, you don't want to mess with the most popular girl in school. That'll make you an instant target for everyone. But since when have I ever need a reason to help someone? It's one thing to betray your own friends, and it's another thing to leave someone in need of help alone. After all these long years, I have somehow managed to not abandon those two policies. The first one is instilled into my mind as a child from my teacher, and the second one is a lesson I've learned along the way of being a ninja. I can't just abandon those two principles, because if I do, I'll be worse than trash and lose my identity. And I don't like seeing girls cry, especially cheerful people like Yui, I just can't. When you see people like her cry, something inside of you wants to cry along with them. I'm not trying to paint myself as the source of attention for this whole school year, but I'll gladly do that for Yui. I stood up from my seat, my chair rattling from the quickness of my movement. I opened my mouth to say something. But at the same time, the door to my class slides open. Izumaki. A couple of messily dressed and older-looking students stormed the place and eventually my table. The one who shouted my name even goes as far as to grab me by the collar. Of course, the sudden appearance of this group of students startled everyone inside. Heck, even I'm surprised. I'm forced to stare at this stupid bastard's face while he's glaring at me. You've got a lot of nerve going to school after what you did yesterday, you fucker. I can taste the murder in his voice, but he's speaking nonsense. Excuse me? I started with honest confusion. Are you sure you got the right guy, senpai? Now he's even more mad. Don't fuck with us, Uzumaki. He tightens the grip on my collar. You think we'd turn a blind eye around you after what you've done yesterday? You piece of shit blonde, just because your face looks better than the rest of us doesn't mean that you get to do whatever you want with other people's bike. Wait, bike. Wait, bike. What bike? Nikki, he's playing stupid, let's beat him up to refresh his memories. One of the delinquents is getting a little bit impatient. Not yet, Kiji, not yet. He slams me into a wall back first. I want this bastard to remember what he did to our precious yesterday. This is getting too long, can't you just tell me what I did? This is getting too long. Can't you just tell me what exactly did I do wrong? TCH. He's even madder now. Well, since I'm in a pretty good mood today, I guess I'll tell you. Yesterday, after school. Nikki, let us ride home with you. We see one unimportant character that happens to be the leader of the delinquents exit the school's gates. Class has ended and everyone else is about to return to their own homes, respectively. DCH. You guys are helpless, aren't you? We see the leader shaking his head at the helplessness of his underlings. Fine, let's go ride home together, we'll stop by a supermarket because I need to buy ingredients to make food for tonight's dinner, you guys can join us for dinner too. Woo. As expected of Nikki. He's a very caring person. Nikki, you're so cool. The delinquent leader and his faithful entourage are the only people in this school who actually bring motorbikes. Of course, since high school students are not allowed to bring motorbikes to school, they have to park their bikes somewhere else. Conveniently, there's a parking lot nearby next to a convenience store. Talk about convenience. Every day is always the same day for the delinquent leader. He would walk out of school, get flocked by his lackeys, and he'll make them come with him to buy groceries and carry them to his house. Occasionally, when he's in a good mood, he'd pick up some cigs for the gang to smoke together in an alley. Such is the life of a delinquent. But there is one thing they didn't expect. The blonde dude pissing on one of their rides. "What are you doing?" said blonde, who is currently in the middle of his calling, turns his head to look at the group of delinquents behind him. "Ah, sup." He wiggles his eyebrows. The sound of piss dripping to the tire of one of the bikes continues until the person is finally finished with his business. "Ah, that's a good leak. I better go home now." The violator walks away, chirpily. None of the delinquents dare to raise a voice about the matter. They can only watch as their leader turn pale and ashen, as if he was the one who had been pissed on. "Holy shit, I did that. Holy shit, I did that. You fucking did." The entire class wet drops. "Listen here, Blondie, I know for the fact that you're rich, I've heard what the teachers say about you. You're lazy, you support yourself with the money from your job, and there's a very high chance that you're mental. I got the feeling that I might just know who said that last bit about me. But that's beside the point. Can you please stop abusing my callers? They have feelings too, you know. Number collar lives matter. You can do two things here, Uzumaki." His punks are behind him, bumping fists into their palms or either brandishing blunt objects like pipes and long meter sticks. 1. You pay up, which will be a lot more than what you owe me. Or you sit down while I make an example out of you. You know you're really unpopular if none of your classmates are calling the teachers even when you're threatened by a group of armed people. I can feel the love. I'm not all bothered with the fact that I'm stuck in a place filled with people who are aiming to harm me and other people who could be potential victims from getting caught in the whole heat. Trouble will always find me, and I've been alive for a very long time to confirm that. The completely unimportant delinquent leader is right about me having two choices though. I can pay him up with the money I have with me, I have several thousand yen in my wallet, or I can just sit down like a good boy while they beat the shit out of me. The first choice is obviously what any normal people would do since they're not getting harmed, while normal people would not even think of accepting the second one since no one likes pain. But here's the thing. I'm not normal. I grinned. Huh? What are you grinning at? Oh, nothing, I'm just surprised that an older senpai of mine who I totally respect as a senpai would pull something like this to his junior. I'm trying my best to not make my voice patronizing. Oh yeah? Then do as your senpai says and pay the fuck up. Obviously, he's not kidding around at this point. He has his goons block off the exits. Like that's going to do anything. Ah, but do you really want to do it here? I gesture my hands around, making him notice about his surroundings. There are 15 people here, you and your little boy scouts excluded. I'm not close with any of them, but is it really wise to do your threatening here? I'll do things however and wherever I want, Blondie. He mutters intimidatingly to my face, giving me an unnecessary detailed look of his mug. Do I really have to do things the hard way? Ito. Why yes. I expected no less than surprise from Ito. I mean, he probably doesn't even know that I know him. What is Japan's Criminal Law Article Chapter 7 Section 36? See Criminal Law Article Chapter 7 Section 36. He begins to recite in a textbook manner. Self-defense. 1. An act unavoidably performed to protect the rights of oneself or any other person against imminent and unlawful infringement is not punishable. 2. An act exceeding the limits of self-defense may lead to the punishment being reduced or may exculpate the offender in light of the circumstances. 1. Thank God for Japanese politicians. Even with his hand firmly gripped around my collar, I still dared to place a hand on my offender's shoulder. So we learned two things today, buddy. I said. One is that I can fight back if you choose to fight me, I can also knock out a tooth or teeth and leave all of you with bruises to heal with for the rest of the week. And 2, you're lucky that your fate will leave you no worse than a couple of missing teeth and black and blues all over. I have enough dealing with stupid people. So let go before I regret labeling myself as a law-abiding citizen. I saw him flinch from the slight pressure I give on his shoulder. I'm pretty sure I'm smiling, but to him, he must have seen the face of the devil himself. I can see the blood draining from his face and the grip around my collar disappears. Thank you. I said, while fixing my collar and tie. Now, if you would please exit the classroom. We have English for next period and it starts in 30. I gesture to the clock hanged at the wall in front of the room. You The leader nods shakily, still pale. Let's get out of here guys, this guy's not worth it anyways. One by one, the group of troublemakers exits the classroom, leaving behind a stunned audience and a grouchy me. I shouldn't have done all that because now all of the attention is on me and I know for sure that Hiritsuka sensei is so going to be on my case later. If not today then tomorrow, and if not tomorrow then the day after. I sighed. Way to go me. I sat down, crashing back to my chair. Then I remembered the whole point of me standing up in the first place. You. The girl who Yui was talking with earlier flinches under my gaze. Shut the fuck up. Afterwards, I said no more and pulled out my earphones and immediately plugged them into my ears. No when. No want. No worries. I'll be having this on loop for a while now. Unknown to me, a second person has opened the rear door to my classroom, just in line with Yui and her group of friends. Yukinoshita blinked several times. Did something happen? At the same time, everyone who's not worth mentioning about begins to exit the classroom for different reasons. Some choose being thirsty as an excuse, some also used a bathroom as an excuse, and one girl who's completely out of idea just convinces herself that she has better things to do. You know what? Fuck this shit, I'm getting out of here too. I stood up and walked to the back of the class. I had to get out through here since the front door's crowded with people and I don't want to wait. As I walked, I heard through the sayings of my MP3. Thanks Maki. For trying to stand up for me. Well, would I know? HN. Anytime. I exited the classroom and closed the door behind me. On the hallway, I noticed that the Ice Queen herself is standing there, leaning against the wall. She walks up to me with a demanding look that I'm, scarily, already used to. What happened in there? She asks, but it's more of a demand if you ask me, her voice is just soft. I did not answer, I just pressed my pointer on my lips, shushing her. I'm sorry Yumiko. I've got this thing, like, I've got to run with the pack. Like, doing what everyone is telling me what to do. Well, I've always been like that. Whenever I played house, I always want to become the mom, but the other girls also want to, so I ended up playing as the dog and stuff. Maybe it's because I lived in an apartment. Whatever you're trying to say, I don't understand. I know right. I don't really get what I'm trying to say either, but after meeting Maki and Yukinen, I thought they say what they really mean. And they know what people want, but they don't force themselves to do it. Maki especially since he's a little bit hard-headed. That kind of attitude and approach just kind of worked for me. Huh. So this is what a father feels like when he's proud of his daughter, huh? It made me think, maybe forcing myself doing what people wanted me to was wrong. Is this pride I'm feeling? I mean, Maki is Maki, right? He's mean sometimes, but he's not afraid to use his meanness to help others. Maybe I should do the same, except the mean part though. HMPH. Yukinoshita, stop giving me that sly smirk. So you're also grouchy at time, huh? I thought you'd keep it only to the club room. I'm surprised no one fled yet from your intimidating looks. If she only knew. That's one of those things that you should keep to yourself, Yukinoshita. I sighed. Maybe I should, talking to you is quite gross after all. This bitch. So that's how it is? Yui says. It's not like I hate you or anything, Yumiko. Really? Well, whatever. Thank you. And sorry. I heard Yui ending her conversation with this Yumiko person whose face I have already forgotten. Suddenly, the door to the classroom is opened. The Yui is pretty surprised seeing me outside. Ah. Maki. What are you doing here? Have you been here the whole time? Quick, act stupid. I plugged out my earphones. What was that? I've been hearing music all this time and I didn't quite catch what you just said. Watching Yui sighing in relief amused me. Ah, is that so good then, she mumbles. Anyway, bye then she runs off towards where Yukinoshita did moments ago. Is she sick? Why is her face red? Can you catch a cold while it's raining outside? Man, it's good thing I'm an idiot. Too. After the whole mess was cleared up with, thankfully, none of the teachers called me in for some questioning as to what has happened in the classroom, which means that everyone kept their mouth shut. The worst thing that could have happened to me is nothing really. The school can't really take any actions against me since I didn't fight back physically or anything. Really, the worst thing that could have happened to me is listening to Hiritsuka sensei's lecture. And again, I wouldn't really mind spending time with her. Thinking about it again, I shouldn't have done what I did back then. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that I was able to help Yui, but maybe I should have dealt with those guys in another way. I should have brought them outside, used Jinjutsu and make them forget everything and pretend that nothing ever happened. Yeah, I should have done that. But I don't regret doing what I did. While I like being alone, I never liked being underestimated. Blame my stubbornness for that. I didn't get to know the guy's name either, but I doubted he's even important. For the long years I've been living in Japan, I have attended other schools outside of this one. The school I've attended is not limited to high schools only. Hell, I even pretended to be grade schooler once, but I don't do it often anymore since it requires a lot of make-up stories and chakra to maintain the transformation. But being a grade schooler is awesome though, you can touch your teacher's tits and not get blamed for doing that since you're a kid. Right now, I'm on my way to the club room. As much as I hate being in a room alone with Yukinoshita, it is now my obligation as a club member to attend my club, regardless of what I'll be doing. Chances are, in this shitty weather, we'll actually get someone to help today. Oh, what's this? In front of our club room's door, Yui and Yukinoshita are peeking into the room through the thin opening they made by opening the door sliding like suspicious people. Silently, I walked up to them. What are you doing? My sudden appearance and question elicits a rather refreshing reaction from the two girls. Don't sneak up on us, you creep. Yukinoshita reprimands me, her voice actually shocked for once. I was startled by your face. You mean voice, right? I responded dryly. What's wrong anyway? There, inside. Yui whispers hurriedly. There's a strange person inside the club room, he's totes suspicious. Suspicious person inside our club room? Now that's something I did not expect. I stepped forward, lining my sight with the small opening, and took a peek inside the room. I couldn't decipher who the person is, so I just went for the straightforward approach and slid the door open. There, inside, is a person who is about as tall me. The first thing you'll notice when seeing him is the long brown trench coat that he is wearing over his uniform. His dyed white hair is also hard to miss, but what made me recognize him is his body size. Again, as I've said before, I have nothing against fat people, but this person is well, big in terms of build. With sheets of paper scattered all over the club room, possibly due to the sudden gust of wind from the opened window, he looks like someone from a cliché I've been waiting for you seen in movies. Wahaha. To think that we should meet here, he says in an archaic manner of speaking, tone overly exaggerated. I've been waiting for you, he spins around, his gloved hand pointing a finger specifically at my direction. Uzumaki Naruto. What is this skin-crawling sensation I'm feeling? Ah, it's shame. Is this your acquaintance? Yukinoshita asks me. No, I don't know him. I replied flatly, shaking my head. Even if I do, I don't know him. Oh? So you have forgotten the face of your own comrade. I can just imagine him doing a pose with an imaginary katana while the background is all purple and mysterious. You disappoint me, Uzumaki. I looked away. Iwa, I'm so ashamed. He called you comrade, though Yui tries to say to me. Indeed, comrade. This person, who I clearly have no relations with, ominously points a finger at me, striking another pose. Surely you remember those hellish days when we charged through the field of Yamato together. 3. Seriously, this guy is taking exaggeration to a whole new level. Now I'm looking away not only because of the shame, but also from Yui and Yukinoshita's suspicious looks that they are sending. I may or may not have been partnered with him at gym class. I confessed. The person's face morphed into a scowl, as if he's offended by something. HMPH. What a distasteful tradition that have been implemented in today's society. To form pairs with those who you have a liking to. He chuckles menacingly, balling his fist. I know not when to meet my end, never shall I look upon others with favor. Basically, what he's trying to say is that he's also a loner like me who has no friends to form up together with, and he also has problems with people, so that makes talking very hard for him. I sighed. What do you want, Zaimakuza? Aha, so you do know him. Oh, stuff it, Yui. Who is he? Yukinoshita asks me. But I'm not the one who answered her. I am the Blade Master General, he's seriously thinking he's holding a sword. Zaimakuza Yashiteru. The three of us looked at Zaimakuza weirdly. Hell, this is weirder than anything I've seen today. I think your friend wants something from you. I heard Yukinoshita say, and I have a feeling that she's right. I guess, and for your information, he's not my friend. Well, unless he considers me to be one. Indeed, I have no friends. Yup, totally not friends. Seriously, I'm lonely. I know it's like the pot calling the kettle black, but wow, that's actually really sad. Anyway, Naruto, I have a question, is this not the service club's room? Now his intention is somewhat clear. Yes, this is indeed our club's room. Yukinoshita answers. We all stared at him. I thought so. He looked at me, as if I was the one who answered him. If the words of scholar Hiritsuka are to be trusted, Naruto, you are fully obligated to fulfill my wish, yay. He crosses his arms, giving me a smile. I don't like that smile. Truly, who would have thought that the amazing Naruto would allow himself to stoop as low as helping people? I reckon that there are greater callings for you, but you chose to stay here amongst men, truly, you are a Buddha. I didn't have to see Yui and Yukinoshita to see the demanding look they're giving me. Pinching the bridge of my nose, I'm thinking how I should start explaining this to these two. And actually, I'd rather not. Well, you see, Zaimakuza here has what we call 8th grader syndrome. I started just between the three of us. The 8th grader syndrome, can't say I'm familiar with that disease. Is it mental? Asking all the right questions, aren't we, Yukinoshita? You could say that. I'm sorry for insulting you, Zaimakuza. You see, 8th grader syndrome is actually. Boys are explaining. So it's not a real disease. I finished my explanation. That made zero sense, Yui mutters. So basically, he's acting out a character based from the fantasy created within the inner machinations of his mind. He's deluded. Wow, Yuki Nishida, that's mean. I mumbled. But that's about right. I returned back to the focus of attention, Zaimakuza himself. Anyway, they just happen to have the same name. His fantasy is based around the 13th shogun of the Muromachi shogunate, Ashikaga Yashiteru. So why does he think that you're a part of his fantasy? And that's the thing. I scratched the back of my head as an attempt to lessen the headache that's slowly acting up. He told me that I'm like a manga protagonist or something, you know, something straight out of Shonen Jump or something like that. I shrugged. I don't even read that much manga, I prefer novels. Light novels, especially. I'm confused, this is just so ridiculous. I can sense Yuki Nishida's honesty. Meanwhile, Yui's over there having a brain fart. Well, accept it, this is ridiculous. I said. Well, at least his fantasies are based on history. Trust me when I say that there are people with cases that are a lot worse than his. Wait, let me think here for a moment. If 8th grader syndromes is a sickness given to people who acts like they have superpowers or abilities from the anime they watch or manga they read, then does that mean I also have 8th grader syndrome? Because, I know for sure that shouting Rasengan while you're delivering a blue orb of destruction to your enemy is something that will only happen in a manga. I get the feeling that I shouldn't keep on thinking about this. There's worse than that. Yuki Nishida shudders in the mental image. Yeah. Just for reference, like what? Like what? In a world where shinobi is the epitome of power and 5 main nations are constantly at the brink of conflict amongst each other, a man shrouded in mystery attempted to unseal the strongest tailed beast, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, known as a Bijuu from its previous host, who was in the middle of childbirth. A mysterious man, named Uchiha Madara, succeeded in releasing the Kyuubi, used the power of the Sharingan, a curse in the form of a very powerful set of eyes, to manipulate the Kyuubi and destroy one of the main country's village called Konohagakure no Sado. He brought chaos and terror amongst the people, and as an attempt to stop the beast, the Yondaime Hokage, the leader of Konoha, decided to seal the beast into his own son who was born that fateful night. That boy grew up a pariah's life, hated and despised for the curse he bears. Oi, you're using me, aren't you? No, that was actually pretty interesting. Gross. Yui looks like she's really grossed out. Interesting my ass. Well, anyway, it's like that. I'll wrap it up at that. Now I'm 100% sure that I have an 8th grader syndrome. I still have my heroic tendencies and the overwhelming urge to charge into a flaming building to rescue a kid from a wardrobe. Maybe I should get my psyche checked, but that's impossible. They'll just put me straight into a mental institution if I start speaking. What are you doing, Yuki Nishida? I more or less know why you are here. You want us to cure you from your delusions, right? You don't get too close to him, Yukinen. It's not like he's going to bite her, Yui. And no. Zaimakuza shouts, showing discomfort. I'm not here to ask for healing, he's back to ignoring the girls, talking only to me. I'm here to ask for help. This continuous showing of ignorance seems to have annoyed Yuki Nishida. Please look over here, I am the one who talked to you after all. Eek. Ah, you're scaring him, Yuki Nishida. If you're not here to get help for your delusional thinking, then what are you here for? Zaimakuza, hang on bud. I see no choice but to intervene here. Boy, that's enough. There's no need to lower the guy's self-esteem more than what he already my shoes stepped on something. I realized that it stepped onto one of the many scattered pieces of papers on the ground. I picked it up, examining it. It's a story. Anyway, we helped Zaimakuza pick up the rest of the papers and arrange them in order. Now that we are all seated and calm, we're ready to hear Zaimakuza's explanation. I more or less already got what's going on. So this is a manuscript for a novel. This is quite thick, but nothing compared to what I've been working on for the past few months. I find light novel authors quite unfortunate as they have more rigid scheduled deadlines than a normal novel author like me. Since I'm working on a full and proper novel, my deadlines are longer and it takes a lot more time to edit and publish, giving me a breathing period before being interviewed by the fanbase. Yes, Icha has a huge fan base, especially in Japan. Internationally, or outside of Japan at least, Icha is known as Makeout Paradise. I have foreign translators translating my books, and I'm quite happy that the pervert's work is getting appreciated by the rest of the world. But back to the point, these are manuscript entries for a novel, and judging from the length and size, it's a light novel. You're indeed right, Naruto, these entries are for novels. Light novels to be exact. He confirms my statement. I plan on entering a contest for new authors, but I have no friends, so I have no one to review my work. I scratched the back of my head, placing the manuscript on a table near where I am sitting. If we're strictly speaking opinions, then there are a lot of internet sites for that. This is also true. I consider myself to be familiar with the works of the internet and totally unrelated, but I was totally amazed when the internet was first invented. Hell, I was impressed when the game Pong first came out. That, I cannot do. The glasses-wearing teen shakes his head at my suggestion. That is akin to suicide for me. They are cruel, I'm afraid that I might die from hearing their critics. Damn, you're weak, and what's the point of asking for reviews if you don't want critics? But I think that coming here is also wrong. Yukinishida will roast you hotter than what those people could actually do. To wrap things up, we all decided that it's best to get the manuscript photocopied from the faculty room in order to bring home with us. That way, Yukinishida, Yui and I will have equal time reading and focus without sharing any premature thoughts with each other. I have to admire Zaimakuza a little bit. Ignoring his weirdness and obvious 8th grader syndrome and other delusions, he has the will to get people give honest thoughts about his work. To relate to that, the first time I showed my publisher Jireya's work, I was a little bit nervous. It wasn't until a few years back when I decided to make money out of Jireya's books. It's smut, but hey, it sells. The people like Jireya's works, and they asked me if they could publish it instantly. I had no problems with that, I just gave them the condition that they'll have to publish the book using the author's name Jireya, which has stuck as my pen name amongst my readers. I've attended meets and interviews, hell, I even did a book signing event once. So people pretty much know who I am. It's not like I was trying to become anonymous by using Jireya's name, it's just that the book is his works, so he at least deserves that much. Jireya, during his life, had written about 4 books, and I've released the 4 of them as of this year. Now, I'm on the progress of making a 5th one. Interestingly enough, during my 3-year training trip with the pervert when he was still alive, he had me work on the 5th book instead of him. He praised me for having a hidden talent in writing smut. Back then, I punched the bastard for saying that, but now, I'm glad that it's put to good use. My phone, which I have kept inside my breast pocket, suddenly vibrates. I stopped walking, standing still on the side of the pavement so that I wouldn't disturb people who are walking. I picked up the call. Uzumaki here. Ah, Tanaka-san, yes, I'm doing well. No, I have no problem with the writing or whatsoever, but I have to say that I've been rather busy ever since yesterday. No, it's not going to affect my schedule or anything. Yes, I've been keeping well and no, I'm not sick. No. You don't have to, I'm sure your daughter wouldn't want you to go and pick up a random guy just so that you could drive him home. I'm on the way home as we're speaking right now. Yes, I'll make sure that I'll notify you when I have any other concerns. Yes. Thank you. Sheesh, I sounded like a very important person there, not that I am unimportant. Let's be honest here, if you learn that the author of your favorite ongoing series is dead, what will you do? Yeah, let me tell you something. The last time something happened to me, I got hit by a truck due to my clumsiness, my fans sent death threats to the truck driver's mailbox. I had him apologizing to me in the hospital crying and all. Loyalty. More like fanatics. Well, isn't this an amusing sight? Zzzzzzz. A sleeping Yukinishida Yukino. I wonder, how much would a picture of her sleeping face sell? Just in case, I took a quick and silent snap of her face for later use. The club leader is sleeping and she looks adorable while doing so. I have to admit, when she's not yapping her mouth, acting like an overly important person and being a plane to me, she is quite adorable. But as much as I found this situation fun, I don't think that I should be enjoying it this much. I rattled the chair I am currently sitting on purposely so that she would wake up and she did. I heard the sound of the door opening and Zaimakuza is finally here. He took a seat and shortly later, Yui enters the room, bringing along her own copy of the story. Obviously, out of the 3 of us, only Yui didn't read the manuscript and I know that Yukinishida knows that I know she knows that Yui didn't read the manuscript. Now then, he crossed his arms, as if as a way to prepare himself for the critics he's about to receive. Let us hear your opinions, shall we? Something is flipped inside of me, and it must have been my author's side. I'm sorry, I am not familiar with these kinds of things. Wow, saying sorry before you spit straight fire into him. That's ice cold, Yukinishida. No matter. I want to hear your opinions no matter what. Dude, you already confirmed your death and now you're basically setting up your own funeral here. Okay. Yukinishida nods. Wait for it. It's trash. Now there's the Yukinishida I hate and have no love for. In fact, it's painful to read. It's shittier than anything I could ever imagine about, and I actually compared your work to that of a 5-year-old's work and I still found out that this one is trashier than that. Ah. Yuwu. Zaimakuza just took straight damage with that one. For future reference, can you please tell which part was trashy? Okay dude, now you're just sending yourself to hell. First, you need to work on your grammar. Do you really have to use hyperbaton in every sentence? The subject comes first in a sentence, svo, subject, verb, object. Did you not learn about that in elementary? It's to keep the writing friendly and simple to the readers. You can actually do that by learning proper Japanese. Now as for kanji readings, I don't even know where to start. You're abusing them like a father who condones domestic violence. The characters for ability cannot be read as power, and there is no kanji related to the word nightmare in the name Bloody Nightmare Slasher. Ooh. I'll give you 10 points for that one, Yukinoshita. And no, you see, modern writings are a must for battle scenes. And why does the heroine take off her clothes here? There is absolutely no need for her to do that here. It's disgusting. Eek. Another damage taken out of 1,000 more. But without service like that. And don't make people read stories that you haven't finished writing. Maybe we should work on your common sense first instead of your writing. Well, get wrecked M8. GG no ri. Jaya. I feel sorry for him. I think that's enough for now, Yukinoshita. I deadpanned. Laying out the facts all at once is kind of, well, it's cruel. I still have things to say, but whatever. She sighs. You just roasted him for 20 minutes straight, what more do want, girl? So, I guess it's time for Yugahama-san to voice her thoughts. Me? Yui looks confused, but then she realizes what's going on. I'm pretty sure that she's feeling sorry for Zaimakuza. He's literally on the ground right now, on the verge of breaking down. Why, you know a lot of difficult kanji. Jaya. Another citadel hit, huh? I guess everything's basically a critic at this point for him. And next, Maki, you go next. She throws the burden at me. Well now, why is something rising? It's not Jesus and it's nothing perverted, but I have this overwhelming urge to crush Zaimakuza's hopes and dreams at this very moment. Naruto, you can understand it, right? Aw, don't give me that look, man, now you'll make me feel guilty. I smiled. Zaimakuza looks up at me with hope. So, you do know that plagiarizing is a crime, right? Ding ding ding. KO. Zaimakuza has a brain aneurysm the moment I dealt the finishing blow. He's now rolling on the ground mumbling gibberish. Yukinoshita looks at me with cold eyes. You're merciless, aren't you? I do feel guilty for making him like this, but a part of me feels highly satisfied. I just destroyed the hopes and dreams of my fellow student and he could very well be dejected over it, but the guilt I'm feeling is not the worse. Yui shares the same look as Yukinoshita, only less colder. Hey, isn't it a little bit too harsh? Harsh. I'll show you harsh. On second thought, let us not. I don't want Zaimakuza to feel even worse and abandon society so that he could flee to the mountains and join a temple in order to become a Shugendo monk. Sighing, I approached the dejected guy and patted his shoulder. Well, since you're doing in lane, as long as the illustrations are good, nothing else matters. I always believe in hard work. Though there are some cases of genius people out there, I want to believe that some of them worked hard in order to be called a genius. Never give up, stand up for yourself, believe in your dreams. We all hear these phrases all too commonly when we're struggling in life. I have been hearing these phrases all too often. You can say that I was built upon these saying. Who I am today, who I am now, what I've become now, it would not be possible without these sayings. I also have my friends and precious people to thank for. But now that I'm the last of my kind, the last shinobi, these three core sayings have been having slight turbulences in my life. My life as an immortal is a cruel one. I get to meet many people, but I will always outlive them. This is one of the reasons why I avoid getting women pregnant. I don't want them to bear my child. I don't want to outlive my family, my children especially. I guess no parents in the world would want that. With what little parental attention I have when I was young, I know that I have no rights to say that. But from seeing and hearing, I can tell that that is indeed true. Seeing these people around me, fellow students or not, I cannot help but envy them. How lucky, they get to feel the happiness I probably will never be able to feel. I don't hate myself for being immortal, but I do hate myself for not being able to completely move on. Moving on from all of those memories, the people I cherished, is hard. Even until now, I have occasional dreams regarding them. But I don't hate myself for not being able to save them anymore. I stopped doing that a long time ago. Ever since then, I never really believed in prophecies. What I do believe in is myself and the people around me whom I have given my trust to. Though they are not everlasting or eternal, I'll do my best to treasure every little moment I have with them. Meeting Yukinoshita is no coincidence. It's not fate either. It's a scene I'm all too familiar with, scenes that I have been watching for countless of times. It's like pressing the replay button on a remote. I know that I'll have to move on from this scene and progress, but I know as well that at some point later, I will have to go back to this very same scene, repeated, but with different people. Live. Laugh. Repeat. That's what I like to say about my life now. Will you read my writing again? We're all outside the school. It's already noon and we're all ready to return home. Zaimakuza looks up at us, a pleading look fixed on his face. I saw something amid that look, I saw something in his eyes. And it is passion. Are you a masochist? Yui mumbles. You've still got the balls to try again? I asked. Of course. The trench coat wearing teen declares without the slightest hint of disappointment in his voice. You may have condemned it, but there's no denying the happiness within me. That surprises all of us. Having someone to read something I enjoyed writing and hearing that opinions is a very nice thing. He says. I cannot help but smirk. Got it, but next time, please try to improve your writing, grammar and vocabulary before showing us anything. Otherwise it'd be useless. I don't want to see him writhing on the ground again, it's too sad. I saw him grin. Farewell. He strikes a pose, thumbs pointing upwards and his silhouette emphasized by the setting sun. His trench coat billows and flaps from the light breeze. I shall bring you more when I have improved myself. Yeah, not only does this guy has 8th grader syndrome, he also has an author syndrome too. I don't have that since I'm a alleged author. He writes because he wants to write something and I can admire him just for that. His persistence and die-hard nature of wanting to see his work improving are examples of what I could admire from him even more. I saw Zaimakuza flailing his arms around as if he's casting a spell. And I saw him smile in satisfaction before walking away from the school grounds. A part of his cringy antics, I can admire him. A few days later. My hips my hips. I'm helping this big bone glasses wearing author-wannabe stretch in gym class. For some reason, I'm stuck with him again today. Naruto, who do you think is the current best illustrator for light novel series out there? He asks me. Is this guy for real? I sighed loudly. Not like anyone can hear me, we're outside after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. Think about that after you actually win the award. We switched position into arm stretching. If it sells, and it could get an anime, do you think I could marry a voice actress? Shut up, it's not happening if you don't write any damn thing. This guy's pretty heavy. If it sells, think I can paint the town red every night? Yeah, fat chance. Whoa, I snapped there. If I paid closer attention to my surroundings, I would have noticed a cute girl looking at my direction. Chapter 3. Love, Ace and Regret. Alright, go and find a pair. Ah, I hate. I watched as everyone else but me walking off in pairs. Zaimakuza is excluded since he's not really a sports person. Today is free sports, which means that we get to do any field sports we want. Normally, I find to be the perfect class to revitalize my reflexes. But when you can do half the shit that I could, playing soccer, tennis, badminton and dodgeball is the same as playing freeze tag. 16 years ago, I was a member of America's SWAT team. Unexpected, huh? But at that time, I was still active in the West and I just happened to quit my previous job as a day trader. Hey, well it's fun making money in every single minute there is, it gets boring if you have to sit your ass near the computer all day, especially if you're an active person like I am. I joined SWAT simply because the job is not as risky as being a soldier. I actually considered joining the Marines, but I would have gone through a lot of troublesome stuffs to even be recognized as a part of the military. So, yeah, anything that involves the military is basically a huge no-no for me. Direct involvements, at least. My first few years in SWAT were eventful, to say the least. The 90s in the US was not a quiet year, after all. While the military's kicking ass in the Gulf over at the Middle East, I was busy doing some swatting on your local armed robbery or drug-related crime. Made some good friends, some were jerks and some good. In SWAT, I got to relieve the inner fighter in me. Though it's not as straightforward or as action-packed as my previous experience in fighting, I get to feel some action after a long time. It's special weapons and tactics, after all, not special weapons and curb-stomping violence. I joined SWAT in 1997 and I quit 4 years later. After 9/11's things got even more troublesome for everyone. National security became tighter, people were paranoid, and if you're working for the law, there was no rest for you. Calls were more often, and protocols became stricter. I got more action, but it quickly turned gray for me. The chief asked why I suddenly wanted to quit and I told him that things aren't going well with the way I am now. The chief didn't ask or say anything against or about my reason, hell if it could be called a reason at all, but I was discharged with minimal honor. Ever since then I never really considered taking law enforcement as a career choice because let's be honest here. I can get money easily in 50 different ways, but at that point, it wasn't about the money anymore. It's about my lackluster life. Starting 2002 I moved to Japan and ever since then, life has been peaceful for me. I decided that it was time for a change of pace, so I took on the identity as an elementary school student. I spent 6 years in Japanese elementary school, it was 2008 by that point. I also took 3 years to graduate from junior high, 2011. Now it's 2013 and I'm at my second year of high school. Time sure does fly fast if you got things to do. Still, all of the thinking I've done would not explain why I'm playing tennis with a wall at the moment. I sighed, lowering my racket a little bit. The ball bounces off the wall, but I didn't bother hitting it back. This is boring. A few guys invited me to play soccer with them, but I don't think I'll play by the rules. Some were even doing track and fields, and they asked me to do a sprint with one of their best, but I rejected since I'm not wearing my running shoes at the moment. The baseball coach even asked me to join the club, but that's a matter for another day. So, in the end, I'm stuck with shadow training. Wow, good job on making yourself look like a total loner, me. But this is not at all bad. At the pace I'm going, playing wall tennis is like a good form of training too. But it's not much of a workout. Really, maybe I should go mountain climbing again this summer. I did a cross-country swimming before, but Japan and South Korea aren't really far away. Maybe I should bring that fattest Imakuza with me. Nah, he'll just die on the way to the harbor. That shot was totally cool. You so gotta teach me that. Nah, I don't really do anything great. I just happen to slice it the right way. Oh yeah, I'm not the only one using the tennis field. Dude, that was totally a magic shot you just did. I gotta do something crazy too. I hear the idiot dribbling the ball. Here we go, magic slice shot. I'm a very sensitive person in all sorts of ways. When imminent danger is looming over me, I'd know about it before it could even do anything to harm me. For example, when I'm about to be shot 40 yards away by a sniper rifle, I'd know about it. I'd hear the clicking of the trigger, the gunshot itself, the sound of hot empty bullet casing hitting the floor, and the bullet itself slicing the air. What about a green bouncy tennis ball, you ask? Well, I didn't bother turning, the ball is falling at me after all. With a swift swipe, I snatched the ball in midair, stunning my audience. Woo. I suppose that's the idiot who served the ball right at my direction. That was so sick, dude. Hey Otto, you saw that? Why yeah, it was. I looked at the squishy green ball in my hand, and I frowned. If this is what it takes to impress people nowadays, then I'm not surprised that scripted action movies are popular. They make everything look good in Hollywood. Hey, of course the idiot does not know who I am. Yuzuki-kun. Can you throw that at us, dude? Izuki? Who the hell is Yuzuki? Without saying anything, I lobbed the ball over to them. One particular boy receives the ball and smiles at me. Thanks, Yuzuki-kun. I shrugged, not knowing what to say. It's not like I know them anyway, but that last guy sure is familiar. Have we met before? Oh well, not important. Sighing, I took my own tennis ball and resumed my wall practice. I look at the wall and glared. I'll trump over you myself, wall. My school is located near the shore. When lunchtime comes, the wind changes direction. In the morning, the salty sea breeze blows in, and as though returning to whence it came, it blows back out to the sea. This is not so bad, and feeling the wind is one of the few things that I enjoy doing. Maybe I'm turning into Shikamaru, minus the cloud watching gag. Or maybe it's my personal connection to the wind. I am a wind-natured ninja, a rare trait for someone who lives in a place called the Land of Fire. The only wind-natured ninja I knew of was Sarutobi Asuma-sensei, Shikamaru's Jonin instructor. Though he and I only shared a few words, he was a good man. And just like many other good men back then, he died a terrible death. The look on Shikamaru's face was enough to tell me that his teacher did not die a quick death. It was cruel, long and painful. Hidden man, isn't he immortal? Anyway, as someone who's completely compatible with his innate nature, it's right to say that the wind is my element. I can feel myself feeling more refreshed and calm, completely different from my usual easygoing and borderline lazy as fuck attitude. This is not one of those cliché or cheesy things that you'll hear me say, because it's been proven. Those with fire nature tend to feel more comfortable when they are on the heat of battle, both figuratively and literally. Water-natured people are usually more effective and refined in a damp or watery environment because their technique requires the presence of water. Lightning-natured people are better off on the move in a wide and open space, preferably where the sky is open to them, and earth-natured people connects with the land around them. Fortunately for me, I am a sage. The elements I mentioned above pertains to nature, and as a sage, I am connected to nature. With sage mode on, I can feel every living thing up to a certain range, I can connect and understand animal better, and everything from nature tolerates me. It's a nice feeling, but also a terrible one at that. The last time I tried using sage mode, just for the hell of it, was a few months back. Upon activating it, I felt sick and nauseous. I actually thought that I might have gotten sick for real, but no, that's not the case. It's because of sage mode. I was used to having pure natural energy everywhere around me, so that when I activated sage mode, I can just directly channel it and use it. But it seems that I can no longer do that now. The air around me is corrupted, sick and vile. The amount of negativity that I felt in sage mode was nothing when compared to Kurama, but it was still something. I found it funny that things grew worse. Looks like all that war that happened in the past decades took a lot more than just lives, money and freedom. Hey, if it isn't Maki. Stopping halfway from putting more noodles into my mouth, I spotted Yui walking towards me. What does she wants with me? What are you doing here? I asked, switching my instant ramen for my bottled tea. Well, you know, I totally lost a bet against Yukinen. She takes a seat on the empty spot beside me. So it's like, losers pay. And whoa, I never thought that I'd finally see the day someone eating instant ramen at school. I'll eat whatever I like and wherever I want. And they ran out of noodles to make ramen today, so I can't help but to pull out a few from my stash. Don't talk about it as if you have a locker dedicated to instant ramen. I only give her one of my best dry looks. You totally do. I can't get over how enthusiastic Yui is, but it's a part of her charm I guess. So, is that why you're talking to me? As a part of the losing conditions? If so, I know that Yukinoshita is a jerk, but I never thought that she'd go as far as to make Yui do this. No. No, no. Yui waves her hand to deny my conclusion immediately. Loser buys drinks. That's all. But I'm sure the thought ran across the girl's head, I mean, this is Yukinoshita after all. At first, Yukinen's all like, Yui begins to impersonate our resident ice queen. I can acquire my own nourishment by myself. I fail to see how satisfying a faint lust of conquest can bring true satisfaction. Then Yui returns back to her own persona. And she didn't want to do it at first. Well, that totally sound like her, and good job on mimicking her. But after I said, don't think you can win, she accepted immediately. Yui says. I didn't know that Yukinen is competitive. Everyone is competitive in their own ways. I said whilst lowering my now empty cup of ramen. Some are just competitive in weird stuff that you don't see commonly. Such as, well, for once, I'm a very competitive sports player. This is kind of true. But not when I'm feeling lazy however. If let's say some prick challenged me into a match of 1v1 soccer by insulting my name, I wouldn't hesitate to wipe the field with his ass. Yui sweat drops. I didn't know that you're competitive too, Maki. I thought you only sleep in your break or something. And soccer? Do you play it? It sounds mainstream. Apologize to the soccer players who make millions of dollars just by playing a single match. But I do get what Yui means. Soccer is kind of a mainstream choice for sports in almost anything, hell, I think everything that involves a ball is quite mainstream. Besides, I'm not one for competitive sports in the first place. I prefer extreme sports like wingsuit flying, parachuting, skiing and all that. Hey, everybody has a sport of their favorite. You are, after all, the Nolan North of your favorite sport. 1. Nolan North. Who is he? He's a voice actor. Oh, what anime does he voice for? I don't know. I honestly don't. Anyway, Yui, aren't you going back to Yukinoshita now? To my confusion, Yui is startled by my question. Her face turns red and her eyes are wide with surprise. What's with the surprise? Wasn't she supposed to bring some drinks back to Yukinoshita? No matter how much I dislike that girl, keeping a person waiting is a little bit dickish and I have always hated that part of Kakashi when I was younger. Oh. She almost jumps a little. Then, she seems downcast. Do you not like me here with you? I furrowed my eyebrows. What does that have anything to do with giving drinks to Yukinoshita? No, it's not like that. I found myself scratching my neck for some reason. Maybe, you'd be bored talking to me? I don't have that much topic to talk about anyway. Unless you want me to pop all them dank memes. Yui shakes her head and I found myself looking at her. No, you're not boring, Maki. She says to me in the straightest voice I can imagine her say. You're a fun person to talk to and I enjoy talking with you. Her face turns red again. But it's not like I mean anything by that, oh okay. I just really like talking with you. Well aren't you fired up? So she finds me interesting and not boring, unlike Yukinoshita. Is that so? Yeah. I seriously don't know what to say to her. In all of my years living in Japan, I didn't bother trying to make friends. I see friends as a temporary connection now that I'm immortal. I'll just live to hear the news of their deaths, attend their funeral ceremony and move on whilst having to accept the fact that they are dead. Imagine doing that for the past centuries. It's not healthy. You gain something and you lose something, it's not healthy in terms of friendship. It's inconsistent. I've moved on from countless of names, among those were my friends whom I fought alongside with during the 4th Shinobi War. A long time ago, I decided that I wouldn't make any real connections with people. Maybe I'll just hang out with them and do stuffs with them, but that's just about it. I don't want to feel more miserable than what I already am by having to hear their deaths 50 or 60 years later. 50 years. More like 5 years. 60 years. Try 6 years. It's that short for me. But I am human. I refuse to let my status as an immortal change who I really am. I am not Madara who wants to play God and make other people's lives miserable. I'm just a man who even death has no mercy for. I don't know if he's doing it because of my failure, but I know that I do not deserve this. And as a human, I need connection. I need people to associate. I need other humans to talk to. I need to live with humans. I can't just go and become Tarzan or something and live with apes. Though that'd be fun to experience. But I just can't bear all of that burden. For millennia, I have carried thousands of names on my shoulders. Until now, I want to try to not dismiss them only as a part of my memories. I no longer have longing attachments, sure, but the me inside can't help but do opposite of that. I forgot how to smile a smile I was famous for. I forgot how to make promises that I'd usually try my hardest to keep. But at the same time, I grew more distant to the me from back then. I have considered myself dead inside for a long time now. And to hear Yui say that she has a lot of fun talking to someone who's already dead inside. My amber was reignited. For her, I try to smile. I try to smile that smile. Thank you, Yui. Oh. You I raised one eyebrow. Maki, do you have? She's awfully flustered. Do you have someone you like? Someone I like, eh? I nod. Yeah, you. I saw her froze. Gee, could her face get any redder than that? Wah, what do you mean? Why you like me? That's. I like talking with you too, it's fun. She doesn't hit me like Hiritsuka sensei, she's not a jerk like Yukinishida, and she's not cringe like Imakuza. Oh, I see. She finally calms down. But she's frowning now. I was about to ask her why, but a voice interrupted us. Oh? From the distant, a person of short stature is approaching us. She's got short and somewhat shaggy silver hair, a soft round face, round big sparkling blue eyes and a light skin tone. She is wearing the school's gym uniform with a white shirt underneath the upper part of the tracksuit, which has a pair of short pants as variant. She also wears a pair of black spats too, from what I could see. Around her neck and what she's currently using is a small hand towel used to rub sweat off the skin. On her other hand, she's carrying a purple tennis racket. Oh, Sai-chan. It seems that Yui knows this person. Yui stands up and raises a hand to greet Sai-chan. Yo. Sai replies in a much softer voice. What are you two doing here? She asks us. And nothing, really. Hehe, it seems that Yui's avoiding the question. I see no reason why she'd do that really. You practicing, Sai-chan? She nods with a smile on her face. You practice at club and during lunch, and you pick tennis for gym too, right? Must be hard on you. I watched as Sai shakes her head, letting a few droplets of sweat hit the ground. What is this feeling? No, not really. I play tennis because I like it. While we're at it, her gaze turns to me. You're pretty good at tennis, aren't you, Uzumaki-kun? I blinked several times, making sure if I heard her right. Huh? Yui squats down to look at me. He is. Such little faith in me. Yeah. Sai says. His form is perfect and his returns are all perfectly executed. Now, you're making me blush. Now, you're just flattering me. I tried to laugh it off, but it just turned awkward. And you are. I'm disappointed in myself of not knowing such a polite and cute-looking girl. What? That's from Yui who's beside me. We're all from the same class, I can't believe you. She sounds disappointed in me, trust me Yui, I am too. Ahahaha, I'm from the same class, Totsuka Saika. She introduces herself to me. Nice to meet your acquaintance, Uzumaki-kun. So polite. I looked away. I don't really mingle much with girls. I don't really mingle much with the boys either. I'm a boy, actually. I swear I just did a Kiyoshi Fujino. Too. Then can you repeat that? I found myself asking. What? What you just said. I'm a boy. I stood up, cupped my palms around my mouth and shouted to the heavens. Damn you Haku. I sat back down, recomposing myself as if nothing happened. What was that? Yui asks me. But instead of answering her, I stood up again, gathered my trash with me, and turned to leave. Excuse me for the time being, but I need to check my sexuality. The two of them watch me walking away in a crooked line. Oh, both Totsuka and Yui mutter as one, in confusion. Why must life be so confusing? Why can't boys be boys and girls be girls? Why can't everyone just not look deceiving, god damn it. The first time I met Haku, I thought he was a girl. But he wasn't and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Then there's Ryuzetsu too, I thought she was a he and I thought we could have been best bros or something, but no, he's a girl. All of these traps man, they're driving me insane. It's again and I'm back to wall practice over here at the furthest corner of the court. I lowered my racket and sighed. Today's been a whole new yet old experience for me. In deep thinking, I am snapped back to reality by a tap on my shoulder. I turned around and something poked my cheek. You fell for it. Totsuka says cheekily, while sticking out his tongue. I swear I just saw butterflies and flowers around him for a moment. What is this feeling? It's as if I'm falling into a place I should never ever fall into, but it's not that bad. This guy's way too cute. I mean, who does the cheek poking finger thing these days anyway? Crap, it just makes him even cuter though. Like a small pet or something. What's up? I asked hesitantly. Well, he starts to fidget like a familiar purple-haired girl from my time. You see, my usual partner for gym is absent today, so he's all sparkles and glitters to me now. Will you do it with me? No, don't say it like that. I managed to force a smile out. Yeah, sure, let's practice. Hiritsuka cheers up and nods. Yeah, let's. As far as tennis goes, I'm not a real pro at it. All I know is that you have to serve and hit the ball until it hits your opponent's part of the court and make sure he doesn't hit the ball back at you in order to score a point. I've been doing that for the few rounds. Hiritsuka is, unexpectedly, good as far as tennis goes. His reflexes are not bad, but he lacks focus. He's too drawn to the ball, resulting in him ignoring his opponent. For Shinobis, this is a huge no-no. But this sport is practically harmless if played carefully. He can return slow shots and direct his shots too, making our match more interesting. But as far as stamina and speed, he needs improvement. Practicing with Hiritsuka must have flipped the instructor switch in me. I really want to see determined people like Hiritsuka improve in their work. We did about 4 more matches and then we're done. I sat on the bench with minimal fatigue. I've done way more exhilarating stuffs than just tennis, so it'll take 20 more games to tire me out. I used my towel to wipe the sweat off my neck, forehead and face and overall. Hiritsuka took a seat next to me. He's tired, but something tells me he'd done more. You're really good at tennis. He praises me. Have you considered in becoming a pro? A pro at tennis? I can barely follow the rules. I said. I just play because it seems fun to play with you, and it was. Oh, strange, he reminds me of Yui for some reason, and isn't he sitting a tad too close? Not that I'm complaining. A few seconds of silence reigned over us, but Hiritsuka finds the courage to break it himself. Actually, can I ask you a favor, Uzumaki-kun? He asks me. Judging from the melancholic expression he's making, I'd say that it has something to do with his club or just tennis in general. What is it? It's about our tennis club, haven't you heard, and about how it's really weak. We don't have many members either, and when the third years graduate, our state will only become worse than what it already is now. That confirms my suspicion. So, will you join the tennis club? I can't say I'm surprised, because I'm not. While I have nothing against becoming the school's Roger Federer, I really don't see it as something that I'll enjoy doing. I mean, sure, I get to help Hiritsuka, but I feel that he should be doing that himself. If he wants to make the tennis club great, then he should do so through his own power and capabilities and not other people. It's not wrong to ask for help, but it won't be helping if I do all the magic by myself. How can one learn without even experiencing the real thing? Let's say that I'll join the club. What then? Will I play for the team? I definitely will. Will the tennis club survive? Of course it will. But will Hiritsuka feel satisfied? I don't think so. Satisfaction is impossible if you don't bleed, sweat and cry for your goals. I know that so well, I can rightfully preach about it in public. I'll think about it. Think no more of it. It's impossible. You wish she's glaring at me. Come on, Yuki Nishida, it's just for a while. I said, sounding a little bit whiny. Look. But she stops me before I could say more. You heard me. No, hear me out, they want me to help around and oil the gears in their head. I was also thinking that this might be a way to quit this club formally, with the tennis club as a front. And no, I'm not just doing this because Hiritsuka asked me to, well he did, but that's not the point. Look, Yuki Nishida, can't I just do it for their sake? I received a somewhat skeptic look from Yuki Nishida. There's slight disbelief in her eyes and I think I know why. Oh. That's unexpected, who would have thought that you'd help someone solely for the sake of helping? Can you blame me? My voice came out smaller than what it usually did. I'm a simple man, if I see someone in trouble, I'll help. No matter who or what the problem is, I'll try my damn best to help. The look I received from Yuki Nishida transformed into something more analytical. And pray tell, how are you going to help them? I did not hesitate to tell her of my plans. It's simple really. I started. Hiritsuka is well versed in tennis more than I do, but he lacks the physical prowess to back any skill he has. I'll be the one to act out all the moves that he wants me to show. Her skeptic look returns. What makes you so sure that you're capable of replicating a tennis move by simply his instructions? I tapped my forehead. Observation and keen understanding. I may not look like it, but I'm sharp when it comes to practical stuff. My genius does not lies in theoretical knowledge, I'm more of a see and do kind of person. I'm very observant to the point I'm able to discern most hidden details on a person and come up with a deduction from them. Oh? Care to prove? She asks for it. Well, for starters, let's start with the way you sit down. You bend your body forward in an 88-degree angle because you need to have a clearer look on your book. The way you squint your eyes suggests that you are slightly far-sighted. Lately, you've been leaving the club room far more often, twice a day in fact, maybe more when I'm not around. Judging by the time of month and my personal knowledge with women's menstruation cycle, you're currently on your period. This is the 4th day, if I'm not wrong. I can see the surprise, shock and disbelief in her face. It's not even restrained, I just made her show deliberate surprise. Her eyes are wide and I can see the blood draining from her face, but it quickly returns, probably due to embarrassment from having her period revealed. She inches away from me, her shock transforming into fear. And no, wait here, you asked for it. I emphasize the word asked. I can't help but be straightforward and blunt because I need to prove that I'm observant. Seriously, the last thing I need here is for her to report this to Hiritsuka-sensei under the assumption that I've been stalking her or whatever. I do not want that. I already have this deranged pervert kind of reputation with that woman and I definitely did not need it to drop lower. She's literally at loss for words. I can't blame her, the last person I analyzed was also like this. I don't know what to say other than the fact that you're a total creep. My shoulders visibly sagged. But you're sharp. Way sharper than I thought you were, you're potentially dangerous, Uzumaki-kun, to a point where I'm considering of changing the way I act whenever you're around. I snorted. Trust me, you're not the first to try and do that. Before our conversation could resume, the door to our club room slides open, revealing Yui and a surprising visitor. Yo. Yui cheers, waving a hand. Hey, Uzumaki-kun. Voila, it's the original topic of conversation himself, Tetsuka. What are you doing here? I completely butchered any attention I had paid to Yukinishida and immediately focused on Tetsuka. I'm a member of this club. Unfortunately. Why are you here? Of course, Yui has to be the one who answered. Well, you know, I'm a part of the service club too, right? She says while placing a hand on her chest. So, I thought I'd do something for the club. And Sai-chan looked like he needed help, so I brought him here. I see, but doesn't she realized yet? Yugahama-san. Ah, no need to thank me, Yukinen. She looks sheepish. I only did what's right as a member of this club. I assure you, thanking you would be the last thing on her mind right now, Yui. Yugahama-san, you aren't actually a member of this club. Must you make everything sound blunt, Yukinishida? Well, I'm one to say. I'm not. What do you mean I'm not? Do you hate me, Yukinen? She's like a 5th grader who's been denounced to friendship by her best friend. She's not. It's not like those stories where she's suddenly a member of the club all of a sudden. Huh, good to know. If this story is more mainstream than what it is already, then I'd be totes disappointed. Yukinishida nods. Correct. I never received any recruitment request letter or moderator approval, so you are not an official member of this club. Reminded me of a grade school's clique. I'll write a recruitment request letter right now. Yui begins pulling out her stationeries and papers. I'll write as many as you want. While Yui's busy filling out forms, Yukinishida quickly addresses the situation. So you are Tetsuka Saika-kun? You All of us settle down as Tetsuka explains his situation to Yukinishida. Very well, we accept your request. Yukinishida says whilst standing up. We just need to assist you in improving your technique, correct? Yes. If I work harder, I'm sure that the rest will do so too. Our resident trap says with little determination. So, how will we do this, Yukinishida? I asked. We'll do half of what you suggested and half of what I have in mind. I don't like that smile she has on her face and I don't know what she has in her mind, but here's what I know. It's going to be a long day. And a long day it was. Believe me, when I say we did everything we could, we really did everything in our power. Yukinishida's plan is this. She's going to overlook Tetsuka's overall performance since she has knowledge on tennis, no surprise there. She'll need me as tool to act her orders out. In short, I'm being used as a reference in picture instruction manual. It's not a problem for me, in fact, I'm quite glad to be able to help Tetsuka this way and it serves as a good exercise too. Since we took this job as a club and Yui's now an official member of the service club, she's also subjected to training. Yukinishida did minimal physical related work since she's mostly there to give orders and then there's also the thing about her having a period. Of course, Yui's not that good with physical workout, no surprise. Our training regime is light, nothing extreme. Running laps, practice on every break period and even after school. I have a clone working my manuscript ever since we started Tetsuka's training request, something I should have done weeks ago. I should worry about my book's progress because I don't want people from management to chew me out again. I'm not threatened by dismissal or anything, it's just that they get whiny from the slightest things. For example, Jiraiya's second book had a cliffhanger-style ending and they were pissed off about that. I didn't even write that book so I didn't know what to do. People are just weird in some ways. Anyway, back to Totsuka's progress, he's been doing better. The training we've given him proved to be useful because he can keep up with me even if I'm holding back a lot. His form is a lot sturdier and his focus is no longer fixed to the ball only. But I'm impressed at how quick Totsuka managed to improve. And it seems that our training has also attracted the attention of a certain wannabe writer. Seriously, what are you doing, Zaimakuza? Since I don't really want to know, I won't ask. And so with that, the days passed and our tennis practice entered its second phase. Ow. Sai-chan, are you okay? I am fine, so let's keep practicing. Training is not without pain, after all. I offered Totsuka my hand, he takes it and dusts himself off. He sees the look on my face and decides to tough it up. You still want to practice? I heard you, Kinoshita asks from the sidelines. Yeah. You're all here for my sake, so I want to keep on trying. I see. Then I'll leave this to your hand, Yokohama-san. Is the last thing she says before walking off to the tennis club's locker room. Oh. It seems that I'm not getting better no matter how much I practice. Totsuka says with a bitter smile. She must be tired of me. I shrugged. Not really, it must be her period acting you woe. I dodged a tennis racket aimed at me courtesy of the retreating Ice Queen. I mean nah, she's not that type of person. Just how sharp is her hearing anyways? That's right. Yui nods in vigorous agreement. Yukinen's not the type of person to abandon someone who's depending on her, especially halfway through like this. Yeah. Even your cooking wasn't enough to drive her away, in fact, it made her even more determined. What do you mean by that, Maki? Yui's cookies were bad. The batch she gave to me after school when we helped her that day gave me stomach pains. Totsuka giggles. Yui's kitchen Chernobyl tendencies aside, I too have developed my culinary skills a little bit. I, for once, can make steamed ramen now. Now don't ask the difference between a steamed ramen and a normal ramen is, I don't want to make this thinking train longer than what it might turn out to be, but let's just say that it tastes delicious. Maybe I should quit being an author and open up a shop instead. Though it won't be as profitable as my current job, I get to cook what I like to eat. On second thought, maybe not a good idea. I can already see myself eating the entire stock of noodles rather than having customers pay for them, though I'd still be totally fine with that. Ho. It seems that you are playing tennis. An obnoxiously cringe voice grabs our attention. We see a blonde bimbo accompanied by her faithful sausage fest and a girl of an entourage. I get the feeling that I know them, but I just couldn't seem to recall where and when. Oh, and you might be asking why am I so forgetful, it's just that I don't pay attention to insignificant side characters at the moment. Anyway, this blonde bimbo and her groupie are standing near the entrance of the court, blocking the exit. It's like we're about to do a clique war or something, the battle of the cliques or something like that. Hey, you know what? That sounds like it'll make a cool side story for my book. Better put it into my mental note. Hey, mind if we play here too? Miss Dolly asks. Unexpectedly, Totsuka's the first one out of us three to speak. Miura-san, we're not playing. What? I can't hear you. Now she's just agitating me for some reason. It seems that nothing will happen if none of us say anything against her. So I volunteered. Now, see here. The moment I stepped forward, the bimbo retreated behind her friend's back. Okay, now see here, Totsuka got permission to use this place, so no one else can use it at the moment. I said. Oh. Even in her coward state, she still manages to retort. Aren't you using it now? It's not very convincing when she's hiding behind her friend like that. Well, duh. I knocked my head playfully. That's why I said you can't use it. Use your decent sized brain, or is your makeup heavier than your brain? Savage. Wah. GRR. She's glaring at me, but she's still hiding behind the glasses girl, not very convincing. The boy next to her, a face I swore I could have seen before, laughs out as an attempt to diffuse the intensity. Now, let us all play together. Together? Now listen here, I have no problem with everyone training together, but something tells me that training will be the last thing we'll do if your groupie joined in. Is what I wanted to say, but I don't need these kids to see my bad side. Something tells me that the bimbo's seen it though. Again, if it sounds like I'm forgetful, it's because I made no attempt in remembering people with little significance in my life. Together if being together means being a disturbance to people's lives, then I'd rather be a lone wolf for the rest of my life. Oh, fun fact, wolves are better when hunting alone, hence the term lone wolf. The pretty boy walks forward, looking sheepish. That's not what I was trying to say, sorry, if there's anything I can help you with, just tell me. I blinked. what's your name? Me? Yeah. Hayama Hayato. I see now, where have I heard that name? Hayama, we appreciate the concern. I can tell that you're a very nice guy, just from your looks and attitude. I restrained myself to not be very deliberate. But at the moment, concern and niceness are two of the many things that we do not need. I gestured lazily to Titsuka with a nudge of my head. As you can see, we're doing practices. I'm a part of the service club, and Titsuka over there has requested our presence in helping him train. And we were training until you interrupted us. If I sound dickish here, let me say that I'm regretting on not intending for it to sound dickish. What are you trying to say here? Hayama asks. What I'm trying to say? Nothing. I said. Helping people is nice, in fact, it's admirable. I placed a hand on his shoulder, stepping forward a little as well as offering him a smile. But there's always a time and place for everything, and right now, you're intruding on our personal time and place. And that's not very admirable, now is it? Then no, it isn't. Great. I chirped while tapping his shoulder. Now, if you'd please step off the court before I serve your intruding selves with a backhand serve. At that moment, Zaimakuza chooses it as the right time to intervene. What my brethren said was indeed true. You, Hayama, or whatever you want to call it, what you are doing is a crime against humanity. But that is so sad and mean at the same time, both of you. I don't know why are you sighing, Yui. I have to confess a little. I don't like it when people butt into others' business, especially when we're the ones who volunteered to help Titsuka first. It's a guy thing, really. This Hayama kid is not a bad person, I can see that, in fact, he's a good kid. But there's this thing about his attitude that made me want to pull out my hair in anger. Whatever it is, it better not get to me. What the fatty said can be ignored. I ignored Zaimakuza's hey. I just don't want you to interfere with our business here. I tried my best to show as little hostility as I could, but I'm sure that's not helping. Before I could even speak again, something interrupted me. I caught the ball with an open palm, gripping into it. That was a full and proper serve, capable of reaching 77 miles per hour. That was a good serve, and it explains the surprise on the bimbo's face when I still managed to caught it. Hayato, I'm bored. I want to play tennis already. Well, screw proper behavior. It seems that your girl over there does not know manners. Is she mentally challenged? Does she not know that it's rude to interrupt people who are talking? I intended to make my voice louder because I wanted the bimbo to hear what I'm saying. All I got was a glare from the bimbo and a nervous look from Hayama. Then, how about this? We will play a match of doubles, me and Yumiko and you and a person of your choosing. Winners will get to play in here every recess, but the losers will have to accept that. I'll still help Titsuka-san though. This condition does not make sense, hell, suggesting something doesn't make one in the first place. I don't get why he's so persistent, but I'll humor him. And humor him I will. Let's do something better. I started. Ever heard of Canadian doubles? I looked at Hayama, only to receive a look of confusion from the shorter guy. It has nothing to do with Canada, but it's also called cutthroat tennis in some countries. Basically, it's 2-on-1 tennis. Now he understands. Let's play that. You and that bimbo over there against little old me. The rules are simple, the team of 2 players can only hit the ball within the single player's singles lines, whilst the single player can hit into the full doubles court on the 2 players' side. I tried to put more pressure to my next words. Or do you want me to put more handicap for you? I'll also only hit the ball within 1 line, if that's what you want. At this point, it's safe to say that I'm mocking Hayama. Well, your loss. This son of a bitch. I only smiled. But inside, I'm holding back a frozen tundra littered with blizzard. Prepare to be served, Hayama. So we made our preparations, and news got out that I challenged 2 of the most powerful students in school for a suicide tennis match. Well, Hayama actually challenged me in the first place, but let's roll with that. The courts outside is crowded and students from all grades are watching. Of course, they're cheering for Hayama and the bimbo, but I'm not one for motivation anyway. Standing alone on my side of the court, I inhaled deeply. Playing this time of tennis match is actually a very huge advantage for me because there's no one else to slow me down. The space is wider, giving me more room to act, especially with the double handicap I'm giving to Hayama. Suicide tennis only allows the pair to hit on the side of the lane I'm standing, but because of the handicap, they're allowed to hit normally. Just imagine the feeling they'll feel when they lost after having been given such handicap. Heh. I stretched my arms and legs, doing a light warm-up. I ditched the green tracksuit, preferring the shirt I'm always wearing underneath my uniform, and yes, it is orange. I'm still wearing my gym shorts though, because it's easier to move with it. It seems that they're making a big deal of this match because the number of watchers is growing. Well, you know what they say, the taller they stand, the harder they'll fall. I'll make this quick. Naturally, first one to serve is me, and I'll have to score as much points as I could with my serves. We're all ready. The bimbo's all dressed up and Hayama looks like he's up for action. Totsuka's acting as the referee and he gives a nod. I returned his nod with one of my own. Tennis is all about precision and stamina. The strain from running around, trying to return your opponent's hits will take a toll on your legs, especially knees. But I won't have to worry about that, I'm more than prepared for that kind of strain. Really, the only thing I have to worry about is to make my performance believable. I'm already getting a lot of attention from this and I sure as hell don't want any more. That means I have to lower down my performance, but at the same time, I won't make it easy for those two either. I threw the ball in the air, ready for the serve. And I hit it. Swish. Everyone in the court blinked, from my fellow clubmates to the audience. Their eyes landed on the place where the ball hit and their shock is multiplied. The metal wired bars that cover the court are bent from the impact of the ball. And the ball itself is not looking too good, I mean, it's completely ruined with a large tear. It must have bounced from the court's ground and into it. So that's where that popping sound came from. How hard did I hit that ball for it to burst from the impact? I'm no physician so I'll settle with really hard as an answer. Is that a score? I asked Hiritsuka. Why yes 15, love. I pumped my fist. Yosh, let's go again. I held out my hand, demanding a fresh ball. For the next few turns, I'm in the lead. It's simple really, in this one round, I've been getting ace. Nor Hayama or that bimbo can stop my serves and it unnecessarily boosts my ego for some reason. Of course, they complained, but as long as I'm not destroying any more balls, they're fine with it. But that doesn't mean that they can react to my serves, though. Aim, Uzumaki. Boot, I got the first set. I sat down, didn't bother reaching for my water bottle. I'm not even tired. Hell, I'm not even sweating. I'm just sitting here for 20 seconds to waste time before I get to return to the court. Nah, Maki, are you sure you've never played tennis before? Why are you making that kind of look, Yui? You don't need to do tennis in order to learn how to hit hard, Yui. Was all I said before standing up and returning to court. 1-0. Totsuka announces the score. I readied myself with both of my hands gripped around the racket. Second round and it's the double's turn to serve. I see that the bimbo's doing the serving, this should be easy. And I was right, it was easy. The backhand slice was spot on because it bounces off at the end of the court, barely a score. I easily got 15 points. I hear cheers, but I pay them no mind. When I'm like this, my mind's already deep in the game. It's now Hayama's turn to serve. The moment the ball hits the net of the racket, I can see it coming at me in slow motion. Take this from the guy who's used to dodge meteors and fireballs at a blinding speed of 500 miles per hour, so when I say that Hayama hits slow, I really mean it. I returned the serve, but I did so normally. The ball bounced off the ground, but Miss Bimbo is there to hit it back at me. Now since I gave them the double handicap, she's free to hit to the empty space next to me. But even so, I won't let her score so easily. I did a return and the ball bounces off fast. It bounces against a pair's side of the court and into the back, giving me a score. Wait, let me do this. Mata Donna. Props to you if you know where that's from. 15, love. That only serves as a taunt against the pair and I'm glad I've been reading manga on my spare time. It's their turn again to serve and I can already see the fatigue taking a toll on them. This is getting incredibly easier for me. Funny thing about tennis is that you don't have to actually score in order to get a point. In a fit of impatience and rage, the bimbo serves the ball with unnecessary speed and intensity. The ball bounces off at the end of the court, making it an out. 30, love. Are you okay, Yumiko? Hayama sounds like he's out of breath. Yeah, I'm fine, it's just that, he hits fast and strong, almost as if he's a freak. Boy. I heard that. It's their turn to serve again and I hit back, hard. Hayama barely hit my return and it bounces off the empty side of my court. My ninja reflex kicks in and I, at least in the eyes of others, teleported in order to hit the ball. What was that? Did you see that? Yeah. It's like something straight out of a manga. Iwuo. I know that you are secretly a manga protagonist, Naruto. Amids Imakuza. None of the pair could have predicted that I could hit Hayama's return so they did not anticipate anything at all, giving me another point for this set. Well, so much for lowering my performance. 40, love. My name's been called for the 4th time now, one more score and I'll win this set. Things are not looking good for the Hayama Bimbo duo. I can only imagine the shame and tiredness they're feeling. The fact that I don't even look wound up must have served as an insult to them. Regardless, I'm not here to show off, so I'll make this as quickly as I could. Bimbo serves again and I returned. Hayama hits that and I hit back. We're playing a game of Pong here, essentially, but with me doing the winning. I lowered my return speed into something more approachable for the duo, I have to admit, this is getting fun. Yumiko? Yeah. The bimbo dashes to the side, she throws her body, sliding on the ground in order to hit the ball. It hit a racket, causing the ball to bounce towards the sky. I expected this, so I ran forward and then jumped. I raised my racket for a smash, and smash I did. The ball crashes down to Hayama and the bimbo's court so hard, it left a crack on the ground before bouncing off of the tennis court. G-game, Uzumaki. And the crowd goes wild. I walked to my side of the bench and grabbed a water bottle. I downed a few milliliters of water before using the rest to cool my body down. Hey YAAA. For some reason, some girls are cheering, must be for that Hayama dude. Either way, I'm all set and ready to go. But, I was stopped. Wait a moment, Uzumaki-kun. I turned my head. Yukinishida. Why are you all dressed up as if you're ready to play some tennis? I received a sigh from the Ice Queen herself. That's because I'm here to play tennis, you oaf. I can see the displeasure on her face. Yugahama-sen insisted that I play alongside you when you're clearly capable of handling two people and yourself combined. Is there any problem with me playing? I shrugged and then shook my head. Nah, as long as you don't slow me down, then I'll be fine. Wow, is this what that jackass Sasuke always feels like when he tells people to not slow him down? HMPH, I should be the one saying that to you. Let me serve the first, I have a score to settle with the female over there. Now that's more like it. To the eyes of our audience, we were like two titans conversing on how to devour our foes. Boy, Uzumaki alone is already overkill, but Yukinishida is there too. Yeah, even if Miura has a history on playing tennis, she and Hayama haven't even scored any points ever since the first set. This is awesome, man. I wish I brought my phone outside. Hey, to the last dude, don't worry. I'm pretty sure that this will end up on YouTube one way or another. As she requested before, I let Yukinishida serve first. I do not know what history she has in playing tennis, but something tells me that I'll be surprised. And yeah, I was surprised. She delivers a perfect serve, but the bimbo manages to return it. Unfortunately for her, I'm there to back Yukinishida up. We may not get along together, but we will work together when we have to. Hayama reads my return shot and he delivers one of his own. Yukinishida barely misses the ball, but she manages to return it on the last second. This hit and return procedure continues for the next 5 minutes, effectively building suspense. I'm not complaining, I'm kind of excited at this point. Yukinishida. She reads my mind. Yes. Dashing forward, she lobs the ball to the opponent's court. Hayama returns the lob in an upward shot, returning the ball to the air once again. I ran forward, jumping in the air once more. Uzumaki. I grinned. And hit. Naruto smash. And yeah, screw that talk about 8th grader syndrome from the previous chapter. The ball does not just leave another crack on the court, it bounces off the ground, into the air, and then falling down right outside the court. 15, love. I grinned. Yosh. Not bad. I received a snarky praise from Yukinishida. Well, a praise is a praise. Yukinishida and I scored one more point, but Yukinishida has the honors since she's the one who scored. The Hayama Bimbo pair is still nil, and there's no way for them to catch up to us. But, damn, I'm impressed. I always thought that Yukinishida's that type of person who's weak when it comes to sports, but it looks like I was wrong. Her physical prowess is just as good as her ability to make tasteless burns. I thought that Yukinishida's only a princess, but it seems that she's a war princess. 30, love. My turn to serve. This is it, Yukinishida, 2 more points and we're done. Yeah, looks like she's tired. Let's make sure that we win. Alright. I served. And an ace. 40, love. Well, that was quick. Yukinishida frowns at me. I grinned at her cheekily. Just goes to show that I can get serious whenever I need to. I grabbed another ball, passing it to her. Win it, Yukinishida. She takes the ball. And serves. Regret. It means to feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or been done, especially a loss or missed opportunity. It leaves a lingering feeling inside of you. I know regret and I know how it eats you inside. I kept trying to ignore it whenever I've done something bad, but it just didn't work this time. When Yukinishida's serve is delivered, the fainted. My body screamed at me to catch her. I did catch her. I carried her to the infirmary, my heart thumping with anxiety and panic. The last time I felt like that was when facing Madara face to face. How could I have forgotten? Yukinishida, she's not well enough to play any sports. That's why she didn't join in any training that we held for the last few days. I regret forgetting that, and I'm a fool to forget about it. Needless to say, the tennis match went unfinished. Everyone disbanded the moment I ran Yukinishida to the infirmary. Right now, as I'm sitting here on the side of her bed, I can only feel regret eating away at my soul. Yui's not doing any better, in fact, she feels the worse since it was her who insisted that Yukinishida joined me. I feel worse too. As long as you don't slow me down I feel like an itchy ass that needs to be scratched. Thankfully, nothing serious happened and the nurse said that she needed rest. Yui and I agreed to leave Yukinishida to rest in the infirmary alone. So we leave, and now, we're walking without saying anything. The only sound that accompanies us is Yui's attempt on stopping her crying. I'd hand her my handkerchief if it wasn't all sweaty. But something tells me she wouldn't have accepted regardless if it was sweaty or not. When I saw Yukinishida fainted, I felt the same anxiousness and panic the first time I felt Madara. I was not even kidding you and I'm not using hyperbole here. I abandoned everything just so that I could catch her and break her fall. Something tapped my heart directly and hard enough to make me forget about my surroundings instead of Yukinishida. Now, as I walk and accompanied by a sniffling Yui, I can only wonder why I felt like that. I don't get along with her well, and the same can be said vice versa. So why? Why was I so fearful and panic? God, I was like a newbie ninja seeing his comrade about to get killed. Highly unprofessional. Yui and I walk into our club room and the moment we're inside, Yui crashes into me, wrapping her arms around my sweaty shirt and making it even wetter with her tears. I can only stand there, unblinking as Yui soaks my shirt in her tears. My mind is lost in the feeling that I felt. Just what happened back there? It's not like Yukinishida died. Someone fainting should not have been enough to trigger my worry and panic like that. I've went through a lot, damn it, so why did I act like a rookie when I saw Yukinishida faint? I can only wonder. Hello, this is Uzumaki. Tanaka-san, I'm afraid that I'll have to delay the work this week. Please, I need time to think. Yes, I'm okay, no, I'm not hurt. I just need to straighten a few things out and then I'll be the same as usual the next day. Please tell the people from editing to not contact me until tomorrow, I need time for myself. Who? Her? Yeah, she can go and play here, she's welcomed anytime. Yes, I'll take good care of her. Yes. Thank you, Tanaka-san. I turned off my phone, throwing it on my bed. I slumped down my swivel chair with my head drooped low. The day is a tiring day. And I'm not even talking about tennis. What if Immortal Naruto and Modern World end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.